Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the office. Gonna give it a few minutes for folks to show up. Got a little bit of a different live stream today. Hope this is something that interests you guys. Expect we're gonna hopefully get a lot of people that will watch this live stream later when they're searching on the old YouTube. Hopefully, looking for tips on the program that I'm about to show you. Let's get started. We'll kind of give a little introduction here. Again, we'll give a few minutes for hopefully some folks to show up. This is my new laptop, the Gigabyte G6 gaming laptop that I got. Oh man, what is it now? Probably at least 3 months now. 3, maybe 4. Yeah, it's been such a crazy couple of months. So yeah, I think I've actually had this for maybe at least 3 months now. A very, very awesome laptop. I pretty much love everything about this. Funny enough, I'm actually starting to kind of look. I still have so many payments on this thing, but I kind of got my eye on a couple different desktop things from both the full, like, crazy gaming PCs to these little mini PCs. Apparently, mini PCs is a thing now. I didn't know as much, and there's several sort of off brands and stuff that are on Amazon, but I kind of got my eye on this. And it's like less than $700 right now. But if there is like a really good like Black Friday deal, I might jump on it. But it's like this little mini PC that's got basically the same specs as this, but obviously doesn't have a dedicated GPU like this does. That's the only unfortunate thing. But it does have like this thing called Oculink, where you hook up an external graphics card, external GPU to it, and then you hook it into the machine, and then you got a GPU. Again, something I'm still don't know a lot about at this point yet, but um, it is interesting. But what I really like about it is it has a little RGB fan on the top of it. So I kind of have this like thought from my little desktop over there, the old Windows 7 Dell XPS. If I do eventually want to finally get the replacement for that, I have that little mini PC with its RGB, an RGB keyboard. I'll probably get another one of these mice over here. I love this Logitech G series mouse, the RGB. So kind of have a full on RGB thing going on, and I think it might be a cool secondary thing. But yes, so I've gotten this, and previously I had a used Dell, very business grade laptop. Nothing too fancy or anything like that. That I was editing my videos on since the beginning in 2016. Um, and it worked. It had Windows 7, Windows Movie Maker. Uh oh. Hello, can you hear me now? Hey, Miss, can you hear me? Let me put my sound on and make sure we actually got sound going on here. Hopefully, we have sound. Where's that list? Okay, cool. You can hear me now. All right, cool. Yeah, I probably wasn't speaking that loud, but anyway. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for letting me know about that. I had to get this chat anyway going on here. Yeah, this is only kind of temporary. We're gonna get closer to the computer anyway in a moment here, but there we go. Got my chat up here anyway. Perfect. Okay. So anyway, as I was going, and you may not have heard me before, if everyone wouldn't hear me, but Of course, now I have now I'm definitely hearing my voice, so this is kind of nice. So let me put this on mute here. This is kind of nice. All right, go away there. Okay. All right, so today we're going to look into DaVinci Resolve. Basically, I was kind of going through again the whole history of my Windows 7 laptop. I was editing with Windows Movie Maker. Um, yeah, and I was getting to the time when I really needed a new laptop, so we ended up with this guy here. You obviously know all about the history with this in those previous videos. So I needed a free video editor. I was hoping to find a video editor. Um, you know, it kind of always feels like there's sort of a gap between good video editors that you have to pay kind of a premium for, like Adobe Premiere Pro, and then your basic movie maker. But I did attempt the Windows version here of Microsoft Clipchamp. I will show you guys this real quick on here. Um, and it was okay, but quickly I realized I didn't like it that much because the what they call basically scrubbing on it, where you're reviewing a video on this, was just really slow, and it just kind of had sort of, here we're looking like a brand new laptop here, and it had just kind of the general Microsoft slowness, lagness. The video, it was just, and I kind of go into that in the previous videos of kind of doing my unboxing of this thing, and I just realized this kind of sucks. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? I don't necessarily want to pay, a premium price for Adobe Premiere Pro. And then there were a couple researching programs that I came across, kept on getting mentioned. One is CapCut, which is basically connected to TikTok and all that. But I'm kind of trying to stay away from the whole TikTok Chinese companies sort of, and didn't really particularly want to use that if I didn't have to. And CapCut just kind of reminds me of TikTok and the vertical videos, and just didn't know if I wanted, that, and possibly that little watermark that shows up on all cat. I didn't know if I could deal with that. So I'm like, okay. The other one that kept on getting mentioned was DaVinci Resolve, and I have tried that and have been using that and been very, very happy with it. It is free. There is a paid version, but there is also a free version. I was talking to someone the other day who was familiar with the program but didn't know that there actually was a free version. And then they got me thinking, like, you know what? I need to kind of show you guys how I do my basic video editing. I've never done that before on this channel. Um, and hopefully, maybe it will be informative because it's very close. And I've never used Adobe Premiere Pro, but even the free version feels like it's a very featured packed thing that someone who maybe wants to get out of the Adobe environment. I know there's a lot of sort of controversy. They had like lifetime license things, and then they kind of are moving like everyone else to a subscription based thing, and then moving more cloud based thing, which may be partly why Microsoft Clipchamp kind of sucks and it's slow. I don't know, but anyway, this is like a completely free version. So let me get you set up. I'm gonna get you guys closer to that screen over there. Hopefully, you guys will be able to hear me better. And then we're gonna edit a video. Yeah, in real time, I'm gonna edit a video that I have here in a backlog. My next scheduled one. This is a video that is very a very familiar format that you have hopefully seen many, many times on this channel. Um, it's a mall video. There's a food vlog. There's even a Toys R Us Macy's run. So this is a very, very familiar type of video that I do. But I did it during my St. Louis trip. I visited a mall down there. And yeah, I'm currently editing the July videos and our St. Louis trip right before all this stuff sort of started with my life. Um, I have one 4th of July visit done, I think, and two more to go. or I've done 2, and I had 2 more to go. I don't know. I can't remember if I did 3 or 4 videos during the trip, but we can check that out too. But anyway, I'm gonna try and new laptop. Yeah, new laptop is. Oh, let's see. I think I missed what I missed here for you. Oh, don't worry about the being MIA. I totally understand that. Believe me, I've been working so much overtime myself right now. Glad the bathroom thing is done. Yeah, it had been rough. Yeah, still having to wait to move in. I know. I mean, I can't even imagine that long. I mean, we had delays just getting into our Lake Zurich house when we moved there because we had kind of the person who had lived there was a little strange. Um, and I don't know. I think she may have some weird issues with the law as well, or there's a whole thing going on with her. And I don't know. Very, very creepy lady, but she ended up. We had to fight with like lawyers and stuff like that to just get moved in because she like left all her stuff like in the house in the garage. So we had to go through this whole process with like threatening with the real estate people, say, hey, you need to get your stuff out of here or we're gonna dump it. And then she kept on coming randomly and trying to get stuff. And then we had to go through this whole process. That our 2 real estate agents were going back and forth. And I said, well, we'll take some things in the garage. And that little delay of like a few weeks or whatever was so annoying. So I can't imagine all where you're going. But I hope everything gets good. And then you do get you get through your hopefully get through your move soon. So yeah, no, and I was I was kind of in your area the other day. I was doing my food delivery and kind of passing by the little neighborhood, and it looks kind of cute. I think I was driving by there through night, so I was kind of looking down the side streets and all the little houses with the lights and everything. It looks like a nice area. So yeah, I hope it all works for you. I've been spending a lot of time in Crystal Lake as of late, as you can imagine. Um, yeah, yeah, no, sorry, it's weird. I gotta remember that I do have the chat on here, so I don't have to look through this weird thing. The laptop is going good though. We'll kind of go over that as we kind of go through this process. Because yeah, we're just gonna chill. We're gonna edit the video, and if you guys have any questions, let me know. But yeah, so real quick, we're done. Completely done now with Microsoft Clip Chat. I have no desire to go back to this. I actually still do this. Really, the only thing I do Clip Chat for now is it has a very easy setting to like um, render a video in like a certain resolution. So I keep a very low resolution backup of each one of my videos. I was doing that with Movie Maker as well. And there's a simple point and click 2-step thing to like um, render it in like 480p. So I just do that for the backup, and then that's it. The rest is through DaVinci Resolve. So, all right, give me just one moment, guys. We're gonna get this set up, get the charger set up, and everything else. So. Oh yeah, well I mean, I obviously have uploaded 800 videos, so if you need any advice, let me know. Again, basic. I don't. I upload the shorts obviously from my phone because you do that automatically through the app or whatever. Videos, like long form videos, obviously I do through the computer, so that's the only area I'm in that. Oh, liminal spaces. That would be cool. I want to do a lot more legal exploration of these places. It's kind of unfortunate because, a lot of the really cool spaces are abandoned or they're no, you want to go into no trespassing areas and all that, which is kind of tough. But yeah, it would be cool to have, start exploring it. I would love to get some more sort of abandoned stuff on my channel. But again, I'm not a big person of like going into areas that I'm not supposed to. So one of the biggest things I always kind of had with kind of my thing there. So all right, let's get this all set up, and I'm going to show you very, very much from the beginning, and yeah, you might like this program if you want to start doing editing, and we'll kind of go into some of the different parts of this program and stuff like that. So, well, I'm glad you agree. It's like I feel kind of dumb sometimes for not like exploring a lot of these abandoned places that so many people do, and it's just I don't know, it's just not really. Yeah, I have too much going in my credit for the people who do, and but I just have too much stuff kind of with my family and my life and work and everything. Like I just don't need to start like messing around with the law. Yeah, I'm glad you can understand that. All right, I think we're set up. Hopefully, you guys can see that well enough. Uh, Let me get my chat in here. All right. All right, so are we good? Okay. I can hear myself on the speaker, so I think we're good. All right, beautiful. All right, got the chat going on here. All right, where do we have to start? Well, from the beginning, and hopefully that focuses and stays focused. All right. DaVinci Resolve. If you're interested in this program, um, you could just go into the old Google, type DaVinci Resolve. First thing that should come up here is by Black Magic Design, DaVinci Resolve 20. Simple enough. Click on that. And it will show you this really cool clips from a movie or whatever. I don't know if that's copyright, so we'll just kind of move on from that real quick. But here we go, DaVinci Resolve 20, free or buy online now for $295. So I don't have a total understanding of what's in the paid version. I know there is a lot of AI stuff in the paid version, but there's more than enough that I think most people are going to need. Um, unless you are like a movie studio, the free version I think should be good. Now there's one big caveat here. Again, everything is free, but the only thing that you need to do, well, besides Studio 20, I think is the paid version. Not really sure what the difference, but anyway, DaVinci Resolve 20, that's what you need. And then you can choose for Mac, Linux, Windows, or Windows ARM. There's a different type of processor that I forget what uses the ARM one, but anyway, obviously for us it would be Windows x86. This is the thing, though. Yes, they do have a registration form. And that may put you off of this program. And if it does, I totally understand. You have to fill out the registration form in order to get the download, which, how do I put this? Is simply a zip file. A zip file that I have. So, I don't know. I'm just loading it here. What you get is you get a zip file, say DaVinci Resolve 20.2 Windows, and then you just click the application and you go when it downloads. But yeah, it's literally you're just accessing a zip file which I have. So what is the point of the registration form if it's just the zip file? Again, I'm not distributing the zip file, so don't worry about that. I'm not, yeah. Again, how much this company provides me with for free. If they want the registration form, whatever. But that's really all you do. I don't have an account with DaVinci Resolve. I don't have anything. And yeah, I did fill out the registration form, obviously, but I haven't gotten one email from them. I haven't got a mailing from them. I haven't got a phone call from them. I've gotten nothing. I haven't even gotten a newsletter from them. But you have to fill it out. So, but like I said, it's just a zip file, and anyone could use a zip file. So take that as you may, but register and download, and boom, you get the zip file. I won't go through the installation. I actually just updated today. Um, right before I started the live stream, it updated to 20.2. It's been on version 20 since I've gotten this program, and it's updated to 20.1, 20.1.1. Now we're at 20.2, so there's a bunch of new features in there. And then, yeah, let's launch this program and let's get this started. Okay, just making sure we're good with the sound. All right. So DaVinci Resolve is this little, well, you can see it, this little icon right here. It'll create a shortcut as well. I have it on the other side here. There we go, DaVinci Resolve. And again, I have probably maybe only used like 15% of what this program offers. It's insane, the amount of stuff. And if you are kind of like a studio, if you need detailed, steps on a lot of the color editing and the effects and the sound editing and, like I said, all the color editing stuff, you need a detailed thing on all that, this probably is not going to be the video for you. This is my basic video editing that I do on this thing. I'll show you little bits and things here and there that I've kind of discovered. But my videos are pretty basic and I don't mess around with too much stuff. But I will kind of go over through some of the different sections just so you can at least see what is on here. When you open this up, you have DaVinci Resolve 20 and your projects. These are all my existing projects that I am editing or have finished editing but haven't uploaded yet. So after I upload a video and everything looks good, it's on YouTube, everything's good, no issues, no copyright or whatever, and I'm happy with it, then I eventually just delete the project and delete the video file, etc., saving my low res backup and calling it a day. This is the last video I think that I've done, State Line Inventor, and it kind of goes up there. So here's some spoilers for that. Add a queue. I don't know why it keeps on. Sorry, it's phone's being weird. It's like the chat showing up and there's like a banner that pops up with saying adding stickers or something. Again, a weird YouTube thing. But anyway, so you're going to get a list of your existing projects, but we're starting a new project. We're going to start. So we have an untitled project here, and we click New Project. And it wants you to name your project, and very similar to Windows Movie Maker. Now, I can't tell you, I don't have a lot of experience with Adobe Premiere Pro. A lot of this is probably going to be very similar. And if you are a expert on Adobe Premiere Pro, this will probably be pretty basic stuff for you. But hopefully maybe you'll say, hey, why am I paying the subscription for that? This will work just fine for me. So hopefully, again, for you basic folks like myself who just do basic videos, you need a basic free editor. I know a lot of folks also on the Mac side use the iMovie and whatever they call on Mac side. If that's what you use, hey, that's cool. I have no problem. I don't have a Mac. I'm not on the Mac first. I'm not on the iCloud or any of that other stuff. So I'm sure iMovie is great. I've never used it. I know a lot of people do. This is what I use to avoid having to pay for Adobe Premiere Pro and no longer having access to Windows Movie Maker, although this is a million times better than a Windows Movie Maker was. So we need to name our project. So I'm going to go back into my folder here. Some of the stuff I'm sort of have on the other window here. I got to also make sure I'm not doing anything that's going to like dox myself or whatever. But so I have a folder here. Again, here's a quick little, nothing to worry about showing in here. These are simply the videos that I'm working on. These are finished MP4 files. These are folders with the clips and stuff in there. So this is kind of what we're going through right now and what we have left. I got roughly 10 videos or so to release that I've fully edited, so we're looking in a pretty good shape. Along with my personal project video, I don't get too much spoilers. This is a cool video that's going to be coming out on Thursday morning, I believe. I've actually just finished with the editing on it, so it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy for that video when it comes out. I think it'll be nice. So let's go in and, all right, so we're going to copy what I've named the folder, which is going to be roughly what it has a date and it has the name of the video. It will maybe change a little bit when it finally gets on YouTube, but all I do is copy that. Again, you can call it whatever. Boom, copy it into there. And then you have your media location. You can set whatever default you want the project file to be in. And then it automatically will choose that as a default. I have video/memories by Wayne, which is this folder right here. So then we create. Boom. Now it's going to load it over on the other screen because that's usually where I edit it, but we'll get it dragged back over here. Here you go. We're all, look at that beautiful DaVinci Resolve. I mean, that looks like Adobe Premiere Pro, right? That's pretty much. All right. And I think we got to back this up just a little bit here. I get as much of this screen as I can. All right. Again, I know these live streams are not uploaded in the highest quality, so you may or may not be able to see things really well, but hopefully, again, this will just kind of give you an idea. So we have different tabs here on the bottom. So this is, again, one moment, let me see here on the official names of these here, what they're calling these officially things here. Okay, so for basic editing that I'm going to do, most of the time you're going to be here in this tab here, but let's go over through a few of these. This is the media tab. Now, the one thing to know about DaVinci Resolve is there are basically 4 ways to do everything. And I know if I am lucky enough how to do one way to do those things, but there's a million ways to do these. I've looked up a few beginner things on YouTube. This is the media tab. You can load your media in here. You can do inspections. Again, there's so much. I'll show you the crazy menus of this thing. This is kind of when you wanna, I would say, really want to dig deep into your clips before you put it into your timeline. And again, you can kind of, I think these are wave things for like the audio and stuff like that. I never use this. Okay, again, this is me showing you how a dum-dum like myself, as I put in the description, edits a video. So this is the media tab. The next one, well, I forget what they call that. This is the cut. Again, I'm a little confused because this is very similar to the edit one, but again, this is more, let's see. How they exactly so. Okay, so in the original one here in the media tab, they say within this window, you can do deep dive into storage systems of your device. You can find media on any connected device, such as external hard drives and through network devices. You can also do that on the edit tab. And it goes more into that in the cut tab. So the second one is the cut tab, this icon. Here you can bring the clips into a timeline, review them again, and start making some basic cuts, trimming the fat as it were. I kind of did a little bit with this before, but I've just kind of done the edit tab, the next one. And a lot of tutorials that I watched through YouTube said you'll be able to do most of your stuff through the edit tab, because this is basically where most of your editing is going to go through, and it's going to look very familiar, this area, to what you might be used to with some other editors. And then there's the fancy ones. The rest of these are fancy ones that if you need deep dives into these, unfortunately, I'm not going to be your guy for that. But let's go into Fusion. All right, so Fusion. This is where you can really go into deep with special effects and transitions. That's all I'm going to say about that because I know nothing else about that. The next one. This is the color one, I believe. Yep, this is the color tab. This is 1,000,001 different color correcting tools. So you really need to get the certain shadow. You need to adjust the lighting. Yeah, this is a thing. I never even touched this yet. Again, mind you, this is the free version of this program. All right, let's see. This is the music one, or no, this is Fairlight. They call this Fairlight. This is the editing for audio. Resolve's audio editing arena, and there's 1,000,001 different audio things with the volume, and I don't even know. Again, as I maybe start to learn this stuff, we'll do another live stream with it for sure. You've got mixers, meters, metadata. Yeah, I don't know. Got all these do work together if you know it. And then the last tab, which we will use, is the final one you need to go to before you render the video. So I only use these to edit and render. So, all right, there's a quick little rundown of all that. But look at all this menu stuff. Insane amount of stuff in here. Just absolutely crazy. Okay. All right. So let's get started. What do I do? So, all right. So we have our basic project file, as it were, all set up and ready to go. So all right, first things first. There are two different modes on here. There's the single viewer mode and the dual viewer mode. You can swap back and forth on this little thing on the right. I really don't like this. It'll make more sense too when there's actually files loaded up here, but basically, I didn't find it useful. But what it'll do is once you get your media files, you're gonna and I'll show you in a sec. You're gonna have a list of media files here, and you're gonna be in a menu. Your media files will be in an area before you put in a timeline. You can also drag it directly in the timeline. Like I said, there's 4 different ways to do everything on this program. So if you want to edit a video in your media pool before you drag the timeline, you can do that here. And you can also make some edits here and view it on the timeline to see the difference. So your media files will be here. Your timeline edits will be over here. I really didn't find any use for it, but again, maybe you guys will. I just turned it off in one thing. So there's some kind of key things here. Again, I don't do a lot with the sound library or these keyframes yet, or really even index. The 2 main ones that I use are media pool and effects. So media pool opens up this thing here. These are going to be the list of your files. I have it in list mode. It'll also let you do a thumbnail, a metadata, a view. I don't know exactly what that does. You can have thumbnail view. I like list view, so I quickly switch this over to list view. These are all your files I'm going to drag over from the folder. Pretty basic stuff. So let me get. So again, this is a very, very average video for me, which is nice because I think we'll be able to do a full edit tonight on this. We have 110 videos. It's a little high, but it's because I do a lot of clips with these mall videos, you know. So I'm just gonna. Well, I got to move this here, but it's also let's see here. Okay, yeah, there's nothing really exciting here. So yeah, 110 files, 3.39 gigabyte. It's in 1080p. That'll be important in a moment. It's also, it comes off my program as also will be important MP4 and then also the H.264, which is the more versatile, kind of encoder for these files. There's a couple different options on the S23, but that's usually what you want to go with. At least, I don't know, iPhones or whatever might be different, but with your basic, Android phones, I recommend MP4 file with the H.264, and then that'll be important in the video editor in a moment. 1080p, 28 minutes, and I should be able to get this video edited down, I think at least under 25 minutes. I usually cut out a lot of the food vlog because I just film way too much of it. When I read that, okay, I don't want to if I don't want to watch that much of me eating food, I know you guys aren't going to want to watch me eating that much of food either. So, so we're going to cancel that. But I'm just going to select all and then drag it over into here. Select all. And yep, copy right in there. It will say change project frame rate possibly. That's fine. Again, that's just something with all the encoding things. Like it might see something at a little different frame rate. Like these files are 30 frames per second, but then it comes down here as 29.7. I don't know. Again, you can adjust everything on here. So every tutorial I've read, when you get this, just click change is fine. And we're all good. Now this is where we're going to go back in that dual mode now. So now it loads it in here because it's not in a timeline yet. So if I want to do some basic scrubbing, as they call, I could do that through here. But I just throw everything in the timeline and then start editing it from there. So, but that's if you want to kind of get a preview of something before you put it, I don't know, again, I'm a very basic person with my editing. So all I do from here now is select all. So Control A, highlights everything. It puts it in, timeline order. So, the first video to the last one, because everything is sorted by the date, this is basic Android format or Samsung or whatever. Got the date, the time, .mp4. So you drag it all into here. And boom, now it's going to be on the timeline. So there's a couple key things. So line it up here with this red. This is sort of your spot in the video that you're watching it. That's kind of important. Okay. All right, so we're back to single mode. All right. Now, once you have this loaded, you really, unless you need to do some editing with the files that are still in the media pool here, this can really just kind of go away. So just click that. And it's still there. It's just hidden. And now this is, for the most part, what I'm going to see for the rest of this process. You have your video and your audio. It does separate it. I will show you kind of some little things I've learned, again, with putting text and putting the little basic effects here in the beginning. And I'll run through a few of this stuff with you guys. And if you have any questions, let me know. I don't know if I'll be able to answer it, but... And then, we hit the space bar. Let me get the volume turned up a little bit so you guys can hear this.
Welcome to Mid-Rivers.
There you go.
Peters, Missouri. Just a few minutes down the road from our friend's house in St. Charles.
Hey, welcome, Delicious Panda. Glad to see you on here.
This is a pretty healthy moment.
All right. So, all right. We gotta.
Let's check it out.
Hey, welcome, Delicious Panda. All right, sounds good. All right. So, let's minimize here. All right. So some of the key things here, obviously you have your play reverse, play forward, stop. As similar to many other video editors, the space bar will also stop. And then this also will drag you through your timeline. So if you, this little red thing on top, put you right back in the beginning. As you'll see, some of the, I like to kind of take a little bit of clips out of the end and the beginning of the clip. I used to do that kind of out of necessity because um, the S23 has a weird thing. Like when I press stop to record, it still like records another second. So I'll often see it like kind of jumps a little bit because I press stop, move my phone away, then I still see a little bit of that jumpiness. So I've kind of gotten into a pattern of kind of, cleaning up the ends of the clip. So you'll see a lot of that, and I'll show you exactly with all the keyboard shortcuts. Definitely some good keyboard shortcuts. So now again, this is your video. This is your audio. These two things here, this like magnet and lock thing, you want to keep these highlighted because that'll keep your sound and video sync together, unless you need to do some kind of fancy editing with like muting sound or removing sound. And I'll show you a little bit of that. I haven't done a ton of that. I'm not an expert too much on that, but I can drag this up a little bit so I can see the video a little bit more. I can drag this down a little bit to kind of give me a better sense of my audio track and when I'm speaking and when I'm not. That is kind of helpful in the editing. Um, so yeah, spacebar to start. And now I want to kind of just, that little second, I want to get rid of it. Again, cleaning up the edges. That's kind of what I do. There's some key things. So the A button is your pointer. B button is your brake. It's this little like razor blade looking thing. And that's majority of what I do. So I click B, that does it. This is going to create another brake. So I'm going to line it up right closely to there. Boop. Now I have another brake. So now to get rid of that, there's a couple important things here. I have to switch back, or I can click this, or I can, here it says, shortcut. It'll say blade edit mode B, and the selector is A. This is another thing you can do with trim edit mode. I haven't done a lot with that. But we want to make sure to have A select, and it selects because of one of these are highlighted. It selects both. Both are highlighted. If I just press backspace, it creates a little gap, which it's going to show up as like blackness. So if I was to play here in the beginning, black, we don't want that. So I'm going to do Control Z, again, basic, undo, like every other Windows program. Select, and this took me a little bit of time to figure out when I first tried to edit on this thing. But if you hold down Shift and press backspace, boom, notice that just goes away. Shift, backspace. And one of these buttons will probably do it too. But again, like I said, there's 4 different ways to do the same thing on this program. So, all right, I'm just kind of checking out the chat here. Yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well tonight. Good to see you on your delicious panda, and hope you are doing good too. Good, nice to see some people. I didn't know how well this was going to go because it's not one of my usual gaming things, but again, I'm hoping people will kind of see this later and I can maybe persuade them to use the program. So that's kind of the basic rundown. There is a zoom thing here, which is kind of nice. If you're like really need to kind of get a very, very small little clip out, you can press this little up and down. So if I want to get like a really, like, let's say I wanted to get a really close cut here. So let's, okay. So I want to take this out, this little clip here right at the end. Again, it's fine. I don't have to, but I can press this little zoom in here. I don't know if there's a shortcut for this, but I just pressed this twice. And now I got a little bit more area to work with. So again, B, clip, A, select, shift, backspace, gone. Zoom out a couple times again. Now, what I usually do here, let's actually.
We
Let's see here. I also do an effect, so I think, I don't know why I have such a short clip here. I don't know if this is even going to work, but so again, media pool and effects are the two main things that I use here. And there's a million things you could do here. There's an insane amount of text things you could put on here. There's really only two things that I've done here. Title, to put text, and video transitions. Really, since the beginning, I've always kind of had a fade in thing in the beginning of my videos. For the most part, that was it. The closest thing I could find to that was cross dissolve. And you can kind of go left to right to see how the effect will look. That is so kind of cool too. Very nice little sort of preview mode that you didn't get that type of thing with Movie Maker. So I just click, hold down, and drag. And there it is. And yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, that's all right. So we're gonna undo that. I need to get rid of this entire clip here because it's gonna look really weird if it just it's literally gonna fade in and then it's gonna go out. So Control Z again. So now we just selected this here and then Shift Backspace. Boop. And I think we're gonna start.
we got
All
ourselves a
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm gonna clip a little bit of this. I don't need to do much. And then our transition will look a lot better. So I thought it was cool having Dillard's in there because that's kind of a rare name these days, but like I should have filmed it longer again. I'm far from a filming expert, but all right. So now, and I think we can double click. Okay, yeah, we can double click this as well. So we double clicked it and it shows a little white box. Again, this is just something back, and when I did transitions in Movie Maker, I always did a 2-second transition, and you can do that as well. So this bottom number here, when it shows 2.00, boom, 2 seconds. So now we play, about 2 seconds,
we
boom,
got ourselves a new mom
and there we have a fade.
by
Pretty cool.
Welcome to Big Rivers Home in St. Peters, Missouri. Just a few minutes down the road from our friend's house in St. Charles. In St. Charles.
Now I want to cut it right after here. As you can see, it's a very thin little area. So this is where we'll do the zoom. Zoom. B for the, what do they call this again? Blade edit mode. Click, creates a little second thing. You can see it's right here. And we can select it. Shift, backspace, boom. And we're good. Sometimes you have to, it gets out of focus, you got to click on it, and then you can do the space bar again.
House in St. Charles.
Again, sometimes also I notice like when I'm filming, I see a little bit of jumpiness in the beginning. Again, maybe that's a kind of a delay from when I hit record to when it goes. I don't know. It's just something I've especially noticed on the S23. So I've kind of just gotten in the habit of editing out the little end and a little bit of the beginning. And then where else I need to, like if I'm going to probably embarrass myself when I'm the many times that I can't learn how to talk, and then I have to edit that out. You see the final product after I edit and get all my goofiness, but I have I definitely have some speech issues. Sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 times to actually say something normal on these videos. You'll see a few of that, I'm sure, in here.
St. Charles.
Yeah, see, like there's a little jumpiness there, so I just like get rid of that. And then I like to go back just a little bit. just to make sure I'm happy with the final cut there.
In St. Charles.
Looks good to me. Getting kind of a short clip here. We can just kind of cut that too. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. And now I dragged it somewhere. Let's go to Controls. Okay, there we go. Now, to select multiple, there's a couple things you can do. It's very similar to a Windows format. So I only want to delete these two, but you can delete more than one. So if you want to just do certain ones, very similar to most Windows programs, use the Control. So let's say we wanted to, let me just get this moved over here. Let's say you want to do like every other one here for some reason, you want to delete it. So click one, hold down Control, and you could select multiple ones. Now, when you do Shift Backspace, all those go away. Control Z, because we don't want that to do. But let's say you want to get rid of this whole thing, then you can use the Shift. So select the first one, hold down Shift. Now all of them are highlighted. And again, one of the key things, if you just press Backspace, you got a big gap. I don't know why it doesn't automatically just put it there, but I don't totally get why someone would want to do it that way. But if you want them all to delete and not leave a gap in your timeline, Shift Backspace, boom. Now they all line. Again, I don't know why. And I think in order for them to do that, you need to have these selected as well. But we just want to delete these two, and we can do Shift or we can do Control here. It doesn't really matter. They're right next to each other.
Road from our friend's house in St. Charles. I believe this is a pretty healthy mall.
Now, this is a mall in St. Peters, Missouri, the suburbs of St. Louis in St. Charles County. This is the most local mall to our friends that we visit in St. Louis. They live in St. Charles. There is no mall per se in St. Charles, but this is kind of the next sort of town over, just maybe about 15 minutes west. I just kind of snuck out of the house because there was such a heat wave down there, and then my wife was also already by that time not feeling too well with her feet. So we did not. This was on the 4th of July. You might be able to see from the date, 0704. This was on 4th of July. This was in between the parade and the fireworks in their little community, which I did a separate video on, but no one wanted to go anywhere. It was like upper 90s the entire time we were down there at St. Louis in July. So I kind of snuck out and went to the mall thing on my own. Pretty nice. It was a pretty nice mall. One I have not been to before. Oh, and yeah, we still have this effect setting here. We did our thing. We can always go back to it, but we click effects, it goes away, and we got the full thing. Other thing too, obviously, like I said, you can kind of adjust things here. How big you want this to be, how big you want this. This also kind of will drag both of these up and down. This little middle one here. When you start adding like B-roll, sound or whatever, I'll show you a little bit of that too. You add it on the top or the bottom here, and then if you need to, this black line will let you get more room on the bottom or more room on the top. So anywhere in here, you just click and you can see it change the cursor there. And boop. So if you need a lot of room down here, you don't mind a small video, you can do that. Or you can, shrink this down, and then now you see a really big video here. So again, whatever your preferences or needs are, that's how you kind of play around with that. And now I got to kind of move this down this way again. All right.
You can do that.
Okay. All righty, let's continue on. Again, this is kind of boring, but I hope some of you might find this informative. But yeah, we're just going to go through the full thing here. Now, I usually go through this twice. I'll just do it once, and then I'll show you the basic compiling process, and then I'm still going to go through this So my process really since the beginning is I do the full editing thing, take out the clips, everything, go through it once, and then review it again, and just make sure kind of a final edit, a final review, just to make sure I like it before I compile it. So
Not much else about it, so let's check it out.
again, this is nice for kind of dragging it through the timeline. Kind of get an idea where you want, where does it look like a good spot. You know, I'll often try to find where do I want it to start, because you might be a little fuzzy in the beginning or something's moving. It just doesn't look right. Maybe it's off balance or whatever. Here, everything looks nice and flat. Things good. This is a good spot. So this is where I'm going to do the break. So again, B for the blade edit mode. Click. Now it makes two. I'll drag this over here so I can just review it one more time. And I'm going to get rid of these two things. Again, you can use Shift or Control, but you got to do Shift Backspace to make that go away. Boom, now we should have a nice little transition in the clip here. There you go. Very nice. Now I'm going to cut that out. I don't know. Yeah, she obviously wasn't talking to me, but she's on her phone or something going, hey, or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I don't need that in there. So again, little things to cut out just to kind of trim down the video a little bit. And this is going to be kind of a short clip too, but yeah. I want to get the barbershop in there. Okay, so this one I'm going to need to zoom up in a little bit. Okay, so now we can A to go into the little pointer mode. Yeah, that's what they call it, right? Selection mode. Get rid of these two. And yeah, I basically do this for all 110 clips. I'm sure we'll get rid of a few clips here and there. Alright, so this is us showing the map now. Yeah, I don't think I wish I would have gone into Dillard's because I've never even been into Dillard's, but for some reason I didn't actually go inside there. It's definitely one of those things that I thought was like completely gone. Like I didn't think Dillard's existed, but apparently it does, at least in St. Louis. So certainly don't have any of those around Chicago. But this is a very decent. I mean, you can see it has Dillard's, JCPenney's, Macy's. It kind of sort of gave me vibes of Southridge. Nothing super fancy like a like a Woodfield or anything like that, but still a very very healthy mall. Not, I mean, it was nice. You'll see there's a lot of white and beige as they kind of do these days when they remodel. There's not a lot of like historic or kind of retro vibes to it. A lot of daylight, a lot of like sunroofs and stuff, as you'll see. So that was nice. But yeah, not super characteristic like a older mall might have, but definitely been modernized, but very very healthy for sure. I think there's a couple other ones in sort of the St. Charles County, St. Louis suburbs that are good as well, but I'll have to save that for the next trip down there, whenever that is.
Looks like we have 2 floors. We are currently on the 2nd floor.
Yeah, we do have 2 floors, so.
Macy's and Dillard's. I don't remember that.
Yeah, you can see my phone, the lighting is kind of messing up with the phone. There's probably like LED lighting or something back there, but no, I'm not going to mess around with that any.
Busy little suburb out here, I'll tell you that. St. Louis suburb, but we are in St. Charles County. Charles County.
And that really cuts down at the ends. And get a little bit. Yeah, cut that out there. Again, kind of get one where it looks like it's in kind of a good focus. That's what I'm kind of looking for there.
Charles County. This is just going to be our typical little walk around. Hopefully don't draw the attention of anyone from security.
And we did not. I didn't even know. I think I saw. Well, I think I saw one security person, but they didn't care about me for sure. Not like some. It's hard to be more the dead malls that has the like crabby security people for some reason. Not these healthy malls. Healthy malls, they just really don't care what people are doing. But it's the dead malls that like people, the security guards freaking out with their, oh, no filming, no filming, no filming. Get out of my mall, no filming. Like the dead mall in Racine, but I can also, this is also a good thing for me too. I can kind of see where I start talking. So if I know there's kind of an area where I'm silent, I know I want to like cut it before I get to the little waveforms here. So that I know I'm not kind of cutting into my voice or anything like that. So
Dillard's is a name that I've heard of before, but not very familiar with. We have a Dillard's clearance store here.
oh, okay. So it's a clearance center. Okay, so it was a clearance, and I think it was only downstairs, if I recall correctly, because you can't really see anything inside there. So, and this is back in July, so
It looks like on the bottom floor, but not the top floor.
I still should have gone in there, but you know, I don't know what that was.
See a stitch item here.
I always find the stitch stuff distracts me. Hello. Now there, I was kind of like flipping around with the camera. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna kind of, I think, cut it from here. Now, if you drag it, one of the nice things too is it will lock on the next clip. So you kind of drag it, and it's like boom, just kind of stops there for a second. So it kind of gives you an idea where the next one starts. That's kind of nice as well. And you can also use the arrow keys as well. So left and right will let you kind of go basically frame by frame. So if you really want to get a precise thing of where you want to cut, that's helpful as well. I think that'll work for us. Yep, that's good.
I don't know what they're putting in here though, but that's
Kind of looks like it was almost like they were kind of maybe building a toy store. I don't know. This is a very odd little area.
look at some toys. I have a feeling this is
I don't know what I have a feeling about, but there's definitely a lot of clips. That's the only thing with these small videos are a lot of short clips, so that does make it take a little bit more time to edit, but that's just kind of if I pause it in certain parts of one clip, I like to kind of trim that up and clean that up a little bit as well.
but let's look at some toys. I have a feeling this is probably similar to South Ridge.
It's also South Ridge, yeah.
Up in Milwaukee area.
No, I think actually Greenfield, but close enough. Yeah, no, it gave me South Ridge vibes right away. I don't know if this is like their biggest mall in the area or what. I don't know. I know there is more than one mall in sort of that St. Charles area, but like I don't know if this is the big one or if there's other ones. I don't know if there's ones more in St. Louis County. I know there's some dead malls on the Illinois side in Alton, which I didn't have time to visit. I was hoping to get there. Didn't have time for that, but next trip down, I might go to the dead mall in Alton, Illinois.
Up in Milwaukee area. Marcus Theater. That's what that sign is by the elevator.
Yeah, so they have.
A food court?
Oh, they do, and they also have a Marcus Theater. Oh, that's right. They had like a little, I think, a mini golf thing here or something.
Open they have a food court?
Yeah, a little mini golf place. I didn't really look too close into that, but it looked kind of neat. Kind of made me miss they used to have a indoor mini golf place in Hawthorne Mall over in Vernon Hills pre-pandemic, and that closed down and never came. They moved to like 2 different locations in the mall, and now it's just gone. Yeah, I took my kids there at least once, maybe twice when they were very, very little, and we actually lived in Lake Zurich. But yeah, sadly that's long gone. But that'll work. All right, what is some other interesting things here that I can show you guys? Because it's going to be really boring for you guys if you just watch me editing. I want to try to educate you guys a little bit here and there too. So this is kind of weird. So this is where you are on the timeline. But for some reason, and I don't really understand why, there's always the 01 here. Just ignore that. You are really right now in 2 minutes and 20 seconds and 20 hundredths of a second, but the beginning it starts with 01000000. I don't know why there's the 01. I don't know if it's maybe if you have like 2 different timelines and I don't know. Again, a little bit beyond what I've been able to have time to figure out. And then this up here will actually show you if you guys can see that or not. It's kind of small, but it's how much the total length of the video. And this does not include the 01. So this is 00, 27, 54, 04. So right now, after all my edits, my video is currently 27 minutes, 54 seconds, and 04 hundredths of a second, which is, kind of nice too. And if you're trying to maybe get it down to a certain length, that's kind of good to know. But those are 2 things. And then this here is the same as this. It was to where you are in the timeline, same thing, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Yeah, we still have 24 minutes or something. We're going to get some more that's edited down, but I should get moving along with that. But every once in a while, if you want to, you can do file, save project, it automatically saves it. I think it does automatically save your edits, but once in a while, just to be safe, I like to do that. And then I'll show you in a little bit. If you do close project, I'll now see this on my list of open projects. I can go back into it anytime. And usually, although sometimes I've gone in and it's done weird, but usually when you save and close a project or reopen it, it usually puts it back to where you were in the timeline last. So if I closed it and reopened it, it should go back up to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So I've had it once in a while kind of go into a weird spot, but for the most part, it usually does.
Yeah, not super big, but yeah, not super big.
Yeah, I kind of start talking pretty quick there, so we're just going to leave that as is.
Yeah, not super big.
Yeah, that's fine.
Considering it is 2 floors, still pretty decent size.
There's some kind of weird noise there, which will get that. That was probably me or my phone there, but yeah, very good occupancy in this mall. Again, just really, I don't know who owns this mall or who the owner is and all that. But yeah, it definitely has very sort of South Ridge vibes, which is okay. But again, it's that very sort of sterile, beige, bland. At least they have a lot of lighting, but you don't get a nostalgia feel going to these type of malls. But hey, it's open, so that itself is a plus.
There is a empty hands over there.
And I'm gonna cut that little part out too, where again I'm probably like touching the phone or something stupid. Now if I zoom up, I can kind of see that little noise was right where that little waveform is here. So again, zooming in, I can cut that out and make it sound a little nicer. That looks good to me. Yeah, there's a very decent food court here too. You'll see in a minute where we where we go to the food court, which one we choose. Again, if you've watched any of my mall videos, not going to be a shock. This is a very, very familiar mall format. I don't know how this is going to do as far as views, comments, etc. I don't know. I have no clue. This is my first time. I haven't done a lot of out-of-state malls outside of Wisconsin or Illinois at this point yet. So yeah, this is my first mall video outside of Illinois or Wisconsin. So it's going to be very interesting to see how well this goes. I'm very curious. Again, this is going to be a while. There's about 10 more videos or so before this that need to be released, but I'm very interested. Yeah, again, to see how this is gonna do. And views too, but I do for better or worse, I do kind of judge my videos not only on views but also comments. The views or whatever. Yeah, it's nice to see a video get 500 views or 1,000 but like I'm really interested to see how many comments they get. That's really how I kind of judge the success of my videos.
A really big shoe department encore store.
Views are still very important when it comes to like monetization and all that. So don't get me wrong, but I like to see like Spring Hill Mall always got a lot of comments, so I consider those videos to be pretty successful in my book. Yeah, and there was someone like running a vacuum or something too. I don't know where the heck it was. I don't know if I ever found out where the heck it was coming from. But yeah, there was someone like running a vacuum or something, or a cleaner or something. But I don't know. I don't know if I ever figured out where that was coming from or not. Yeah, they have a JCPenney. Malls still have a lot of JCPenney's. I'm glad. I didn't know if JCPenney was going to last long term or if it was going to go the way of Sears or not, but still seems to be doing okay. We got to check out all the toy cars, because you got to, see, notice some of that jumpiness that sort of pops up in the beginning or end of my videos. Again, that's just a weird thing with my phone where it doesn't stop recording right away or like doesn't start recording earlier than, I don't know. It's just really weird. It's just a thing with the S23, and that's kind of why I got in the habit of clipping these things out because this phone does weird things with that. My goal eventually, especially now that I have this new laptop, I'm definitely consider going just not I can't ditch my phone, but to do my main vlogging on a dedicated sort of either DSLR or one of these GoPro things or one of these little cameras on a stick thing that all the vloggers use or whatever. I forget what the heck it's called. I don't know. Something a little more professional down the road would be nice and not dealing with the phone or the battery or overheating or the messed up charger that I have on this phone right now. It'd be nice to kind of move on from that for more of these vlogs, but not something I'm really thinking about right now. But yeah, it'll be down the road, but we'll see. Maybe if I get some big super chats or something down the road, I'll consider that. But yeah, see, there's that jumpiness there. But let's see if we can. All right, so now we're gonna clip 4 of these out. But it's a really short clip, so I don't know. I may not even keep this, but let's see. Let's see how stupid this looks. That's fine. Whatever. Okay, now this is where, so I'm assuming most phones are like this. When you record and if you press stop, there you go. You got one file, one MP4 file. If you do a pause and then go back into it, again, most of my vlogging stuff has been done with Samsungs. It'll keep it on the same file. So you can see it clips over into there you go. See, this is all still on one file. So I'm going to kind of like, this one actually transitions pretty well. But if I wanted to kind of maybe clean it up a little for whatever reason, again, I basically do the same thing. Clip, run, and clip. So that I can keep this little area right here out. Okay, this one was pretty nice, but just for demonstration purpose, I'll show you. There you go, beautiful sound. Yeah, you know that's going to lead to a Toys R Us thing. Yeah, as soon as I saw the Macy's thing, I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing. I didn't really plan on doing. I've done so many of those Macy's Toys R Us, but I'm like, well, you know what? We're here. Let's check it out. And I think it was a halfway decent one. It wasn't like the biggest, but it wasn't also the smallest that we've seen. I'm like, well, you know, how often am I going to be going to this mall? So I might as well document it. Yeah. Now this one, like, I started recording and the phone was kind of at a weird angle, so I'm gonna wait till it's kind of straightened out like this. It looks a little better. Again, cut that out. Yeah, now we have the 2 blank ones. The sound was also a little weird there too. But yeah, we can, again, either control, just make sure you press A so you have the pointer. You can also click the pointer, either way. Now these two, no matter where you have this thing, as long as these 2 are highlighted red, these are the ones that are going to get deleted. So shift backspace. Boom. There you go.
Maybe we'll check that out after we do our round over at the first floor.
Oh, there you go. I paused it here because I kind of lost my train of thought. Again, this is really my first spot in here now where I've had my either goofed up in my talking or kind of lost my train of thought and had to kind of redo something. So so we need to clean this up a little bit now.
First floor.
There you go. Again, editing is what I have to do to make myself not sound like a bumbling idiot on this platform.
Over at the first floor.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll show you too eventually kind of what I do as far as like thumbnails on this thing. It's a little different with this program as opposed to what, because this thing's a little different. Plus the Movie Maker thing is a little different. So how I was doing thumbnails on Windows 7 with Movie Maker is a little different than how I do thumbnails with this. I do like this way a little bit better. So I will show you that. I think I wanted to do like a thumbnail with the flag here, but not this angle. There's a better angle. I think I do a little bit later, so we'll get back to that in a moment. This might be, I can't remember if this was the one that I wanted to do this or not. Sometimes I save multiple potential thumbnails and choose the one later, so let me kind of show you real quick. And again, this is also kind of a Windows 11 thing, so yeah, let's say we decide on this. Okay, so right here, like I said, I think we got a better angle of this at some point, but if not, let's just, so what I do is I leave this paused and I do Control F. So there may be, again, in one of these million menu things here, you know. But again, learn shortcuts because there's so million ways to do it. There's 4 different ways to do everything on this platform here in this program. But Control F, boom, puts it in full screen. And then all I do is hit print screen. I got to do the function, I believe, but I don't have like Snagit or anything on here yet. I might eventually. And then now it's going to let me select what I want. Boom. And boom. Now what it does, again, this behaves a little different in Windows 7. It saves it into a screenshot folder. So let's see. Yeah, there's really nothing incriminating about me on here, no. So it saves it in pictures, screenshots, and then boom, and I have this. Boom, just like this. And then what I can do, if this is the one I eventually choose, then I just right click, open with Paint. Again, very basic, and I've always been very basic with thumbnails. You don't see me putting a goofy face on here with a goofy expression, bunch of text, and all this sort of clickbaity, Mr. Beast crap things that everyone's doing. Even good channels that don't need that crap, that's the way they're doing. They all gotta have a shocked face or a surprised face or a sad face, an OMG face. My thumbnail is about my content and what I think is the best screenshot from my content, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. I don't know, one day, but I have no desire right now to make the goofy thumbnails. That apparently is what the algorithm wants. It's just not me, Control minus, zoom it out a little bit. There's possibly your thumbnail, and then just do file, save as. Save it as a JPG because I discovered PNG makes it too big of a file size-wise to put as a thumbnail on YouTube. So kind of dumb, but you have a limitation. And then I save it. I kind of base it on in the timeline order of my videos to release or whatever. So this one would be thumb 11 because I've done 2 St. Louis videos so far. So yeah, this would be labeled thumb 11, but there might be some other ones. So I usually don't officially save it until I've gone through the entire video a couple times and look through any that I have saved and decide what I like the best. So, but we'll leave that as a screenshot for now. Let's continue on. And I think this is like this is I think the one security guard we saw. I don't think he was, by the time we get downstairs, he was not down there. So that's about as close as an encounter I had with a security guard, and he didn't see me. And he was one of those reputable companies like Garda or something like that, where it's usually you don't run into too many issues with them. They're just there to patrol the area and do their job. They don't really care about someone filming on their phone as much as some of the other malls do.
Allied security person.
Oh, Allied, okay. Not Garda, Allied, but also a decent enough company to usually don't run across too many issues with.
Got an Allied security person there on the first floor.
Always spying on the security. They're always spying on me, so I'm gonna spy on them, darn it.
Only security person is so. Person there on the first floor. Only security person I've seen so far. We have a Sears over here, which obviously is closed. Yeah, not super busy in here. I mean, it is 4th of July today, so
4th of July.
that might factor into the foot traffic a little as well. There's definitely some closed stores, but also some stores might be closed for the 4th of July, so.
Get better. See, I'm also in, YouTube here, if I can show, yeah, okay. So if I have this up on the screen, I press spacebar, it actually pauses this and doesn't pause my video. So I check my comments here, and then I got to minimize it, otherwise my spacebar doesn't let me edit on this. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so we already did that.
busy in here. I mean, it is 4th of July today, so that might factor into the foot traffic a little as well. There's definitely some closed stores, but also some stores might be closed for the 4th of July, so.
Now, allow me again, because I want to break this up a little bit. I don't want to make this too huge of a video. I don't even know if anyone is still on this thing, but I think there's one person. One person watching me. Thank you very much. One person watching me. But yeah, just listen to this sound here.
That might factor into the foot traffic a little as well. There's definitely some closed stores, but also some stores might be closed for the 4th of July, so.
Yeah, hear that faint sound in the background. You might be able to recognize that song. YouTube will find a way to copyright me on that. Even though I'm talking and it's faintly in the background, YouTube will find a way to copyright it. This is just an annoyance with YouTube. And it's not like I'm playing a song on the radio or I'm watching a song on YouTube and filming it or whatever. That sound in the background, it will throw a copyright claim. Maybe not. But very often, my last visit to Norwich Mall, when I did the Toys R Us thing, there was a sound in the background in the mall somewhere. Barely could hear it. Grabbed it for the copyright. Now, thankfully, the YouTube Studio editor, I'll show you, go through how I do YouTube Studio stuff at some point down the road. Not tonight, but YouTube Studio has a very nice feature now that actually it takes a little bit of time to compile, so it's going to delay your upload a little bit, but it will edit out the sound or edit out the song and leaving the rest of the sound, like your voice or the background noise in the mall or whatever, intact. I don't know how it does it, but it removes the song and it doesn't make it really like you have the whole thing muted. You can mute it if you want, and you can even remove that part. You can remove the part of the video that has a song. You can mute the entire thing, or you can just remove the song. So anytime that comes up now, I used to delete all that stuff and re-upload it and all that stuff. Now I just let it do its thing and remove. You got to do it one song at a time. So if it copyrights like 4 different songs on the mall, which this one could very well do, you have to go through that process for each one. So that takes a little time. That might delay my upload by a day or whatever. Because it takes a little time. It's got to do that. It's got to reprocess the entire video. And that's whole thing. That's all done through YouTube Studio. But at least it lets do that. And then once it's done, you can confirm it. And the main reason why I have to do that is because even that background song, that few seconds of that, if it hits a copyright, I completely lose any monetization that I have on this thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I will not be able to monetize it at all if it grants that. So before I ever even upload it, before you guys see the final product, if I get a claim on that, I will let it do its thing and remove it. It's dumb. You know, like I said, I can understand if I was in a party room or something like that and that music was blaring, but that background music in the PA system might very well trigger it just for those few seconds. That's just how dumb YouTube is with their music claims. And it's here in a little bit. It's here a little bit too. So yeah, we'll see. You know, I was just going to be it's going to be a month or two before I upload this thing, so I don't know how it's going to be, and I can play around with it a little bit and try to shorten the clips up, but it's like not as big a deal as it used to be because of this new feature, new-ish. It's been around for a while now in YouTube Studio. A lot of Dick's Sporting Goods in malls. I've noticed that over time too with some of my mall adventures. That there's a lot of Kohl's and Dick's Sporting Goods. A lot of 2 anchors that remain in malls. Pretty rare. There's you can have your abandoned Sears there. So I don't remember if I tried to look inside of that or not, but we'll find out in a sec. So very cool. They haven't taken the sign down at least. No, that's one of your only sort of dead anchors here.
There's your Sears.
Yeah, now that one is looking like that. That's kind of loud. So I think we're going to cut this one down a little bit. It might help with the copyright claim to avoid that.
Yeah, but there's your Sears.
Again, try to get the cleanest one where it's not like a fuzzy. Yeah, I think we're just going to cut the rest of this out. Yeah, that is very easily to get claimed. Yeah, that one's got to go away. Not that it's a big of a deal. It just saves me a little time in the end of having to, get these things recompiled in studio. So
Yeah, but there's your Sears.
still a very good chance that possibly might hit somewhere in this area, but there was nothing really interesting in that point anyway. So like, let's just get rid of it. Especially when I'm not talking, then it's very. Yeah, the music was definitely a little bit on the loud side in this mall, but especially in areas like this where it's kind of almost abandoned-ish vibes or whatever. Not a lot of people. That music really kind of couldn't avoid it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but there's your Sears. Okay, food court on the first level. Be interested to see what they have. Doesn't look really big area.
Yeah, it's a decent size. That turned out to be a little bigger than I was thinking. Yeah, that's a good spot. Now we notice here we're getting kind of towards the end of the timeline. So here's one more thing I can kind of show you about this program. Obviously, as you continue to play it, it will progress, move things over. You can also, let's see here. Now, see, did I? Oh, okay, that was just that part. Yeah, so this is another thing too. If you don't want to scrub through here, because this thing, obviously, as you can see, it does all the sound stuff. You can also just run it this way, I think, with either mode. Oh, no, okay, no. So the selector mode, the A selection mode, that won't do nothing. But if you go back into the blade mode, B, you can kind of do a quick little scrub this way too. So this is nice if you don't want to deal with a lot of that noise. Because like if I do this, you're gonna hear me talking backwards and stuff. That's kind of annoying, but it's useful. Obviously when you're trying to go through the sound. But this will let you do a quick little run through, and then like you'll say, "Oh, I want to go to this spot." For some reason I want to go to this spot. For some reason I want to look at this, and then now you just click the left up here by this. Kind of looks like a ruler up here. So we click this, boom, now it moves there. But now, of course, I went off the timeline. So the thing to be careful with if you're doing that is you may forget where you were editing from. So, or if you do like I do and you kind of move it a little too quickly and it starts flying to the other end of the screen. But back to the main thing I want to kind of show you here is you got a little toolbar here that'll let you move around. So you just click on this, drag this, and this is what I try to do. If I need to kind of see a little bit ahead, you can just kind of drag this. This will not change. You're still on your spot here. We're at 4 minutes 15 seconds. And now we can kind of start moving a little bit farther here. So sometimes it's nice to do this once in a while just to kind of get an idea what's ahead of you a little bit, but it will automatically move. Oh, this is kind of funny. We'll get to this, but this was something kind of unique that I've never seen before. A lot of unique stores here for sure. Again, this is not a wood field, and kind of bland on it. But there's a lot. I mean, you got your skylight here. You got your skylight things on the side. Skylight, a lot of light, but just very white, beige, nice mall, but very suburban typical. Best way to put it. For the malls that are still doing well enough that have gone through renovations in the past 10, 20 years, whatever, a lot of them look like this, And hey, I mean, that as long as it's healthy, right? Maybe that doesn't matter, right? Not everything can be Stratford Square or Spring Hill. This looks like a cool store. Yeah, if I had more time, I would have gone to that store. But again, you got to mind, this is I felt kind of guilty, but I wanted to do that because everyone's just sitting home doing nothing at this point. It was so hot. No one wanted to go out. I'm like, I kind of want to do a video, and then I saw this mall, so I got permission. I said, "Hey, is it okay if I go out for a little bit in the morning?" And they were fine with it. I think actually I think some of my family at some point in this, they actually went, they did shopping too somewhere else, if I remember right. So I don't feel guilty. I think the ladies, I think my friend's wife and my wife and the kids, I think at some point while I was out doing this, and they went to a store too, so they did something too. So they did a little bit of shopping in one of the, and actually not too far from this mall. I don't remember where they went to, but it wasn't too far.
Train store is closed right now.
But again, these mall vlogs like this, sometimes it's easier just to kind of do it at my own pace, on my own. I have a certain pace and certain way I walk through all this. And again, my wife was not feeling well with her foot, so she was not about to like walk through this entire thing at that point. It was already starting to get bad up. But we did not know that it was going to lead into the issues that it was going to lead into. Uh, yeah, we had no idea that it was gonna be like that. And I in my upcoming update video that I will discuss actually a little bit more about what kind of the timeline of everything that happened with my wife. That is going to be in the video that's coming out Thursday. So more details to come on that. But if you guys haven't been following on my community post or whatever, that video coming out Thursday will kind of go a little bit more into the timeline of between this trip and our daily hospital visits to Crystal Lake and all that. And that is a little bit more. That's good. That one video Thursday is coming out. It's going to be one of my lengthier videos. I'll just say that way. It might have been one that I have been a little higher, but not in a very, very long time. And the only reason I can do that now is because I have Windows 11 and this program. I would never have been able to make a video out that long. The one that's coming out Thursday, and previously it had been split up into multiple parts, and I just said heck it and just threw it all to one video because I just it's covering two different things. It's covering a life, family update, channel update, and it's also going into the main topic, which is going into that Bulls album. So stay tuned Thursday. That they said it's a little lengthier. It might take you a day or two to go through it all, but definitely some interesting content. I'll say that.
Never heard of them.
They had a lot of these like bookstores, record stores, just kind of a cool vibe. I don't know much about the town of St. Peter's. I mean, I don't know a lot about. They had a lot of unique stuff that I think like youth would have liked, and something like that kind of reminds me of malls back from our days too. Kind of the edgier Spencer's days. And there's a lot of unique sort of, not just, oh, it has a Bath and Body Works, etc. That's fine. I want to brand this jewelry store, or whatever. But a lot of sort of more edgier stuff, that more focused on the youth. So, okay, yes, this I knew it. I knew I had a better thumbnail. This is the one. This is going to be my thumbnail. Again, we're just going to save it a screenshot for now. After we do all the edits and before, a week down the road or whatever, and I'm happy with the way it looks or whatever. Then we'll just save it over. But for now, yeah, we're gonna save a screenshot of that one too, because I'm pretty sure that was kind of, when I saw that angle, I kind of knew right then, like, yeah, this is gonna be. I very often know what my thumbnail is going to be while I'm filming it. I do change my mind when I start watching these once in a while. I go back, but I usually have a pretty good idea, for the most part, what my thumbnail is going to be when I'm filming it. So, yeah, I think that's. Yeah, the only thing I'm kind of looking for now is the less fuzziness, and I think, yeah, I think that'll be pretty good. Yep. So Control F for full screen. And this is nice if you have edited and you want to go through. You see here, it has an auto hide toolbar. I have to let that go away to do my screenshot, but if you don't want to look at the timeline and you just want to watch your video again for like the second time or whatever, that's a way to do it through full screen mode. So we need to get this to go away. There we go. And function print screen. Your print screen will be who knows what or where it'll be or how you press it depending on your keyboard layout. Mine, I have to press the function key. Otherwise, it does the sysRQ without it. I don't know what sysRQ does, but function print screen, and boom. So now we have it again in our screenshots folder right here. Yep. So again, we're not gonna mess with that any further right now, but we'll keep that in our back pocket, both of those. But I know I'm definitely gonna probably just delete that one because this was the money shot, quote unquote. I guess you want to call it that. It's not the most exciting thing, but I liked it because the flag was right there. You kind of see some of the mall, both floors, and then you kind of get an idea of all the skylight here. This is the center court, obviously. Little reference to St. Louis there, which is kind of cool as well. I didn't notice that before. St. Louis fine jewelry. So you got a little St. Louis thing, and there's another part towards the end of this video where it's kind of like I don't know, sort of a St. Louis themed gift shop or whatever, but we'll see that at the end. Yeah, so yeah, that's possibly your thumbnail when that video comes out in a month or two or whatever. All right, let's continue on. Let's go. We're only 4 minutes in here, so thank you guys for the patience here. I don't know who's actually watching this, but I had to do this tonight anyway, so I kind of had a couple other things. I was working on that update video, which is coming out Thursday. That was taking some of my time, so I was starting to get a little behind on my editing again. I just wanted to focus tonight on getting at least the first round of this edited. I'm still gonna again go through this entire thing one more time before we compile it, or I always say compile it because my programming background, but I guess technically it's like rendering or something. I don't know. Forgot what the official term is for it, but
Okay, this just goes to the Macy's.
that works. It's kind of a short clip. Roger the Howling is a classic, a mall classic. Ooh, I see a stitch up there. Yeah, sometimes I'll clip these these short clips here. So sometimes I'll clip a few of them and then just delete them all at once. Again, now to do this, I had to do control because I don't want to get rid of that one in the middle. So I did control, hit control, hold it down, select, and now we can do shift backspace. Boom, all of them go away. Beautiful. And I know we got to show you a couple other features here real quick at some point. Maybe after this. Yeah, they have a Pokemon vending machine. The first time I've ever seen such a thing. Again, a lot of youth sort of vibe to this. Like there's a lot of youth things on here. Just kind of cool. Because it's going to be key for mall surviving. Is you got to have it so the youth are interested in going to it. Us old folks, mall walkers and such, only going to last you for so long at these malls. And that's the reason I think a lot of these like Spring Hill Mall and fading, kind of went away is they didn't like modernize and put cool stuff in there,
I think this is the first time I've ever seen a Pokemon vending machine.
There you go. Again, I'm trying to see where it's not going to end, where it's fuzzy when possible. And that's just a preference on my end. I have to zoom in a little bit because these are pretty short cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift backspace. Boom.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen a Pokemon vending machine.
All right, so let's say you want to put text in here. Let's start with text. Probably I'm not going to need to put anything here unless I really, really goofed on something and I missaid something. But typical with these models, I don't do a lot of different effects on these. But let's click effects. Yeah, it's in effects. That's kind of weird, and it's in titles, and you can kind of see. Again, there's a million. You can have a scrolling title, basic title in the middle. There's like a million things here again, and then all these different effects. So these are like fancier ones. The only one I really messed with is this one here, because typically when I do text, I do it toward the bottom and the middle. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to move this over a little bit to the middle. And let's say we want to put a text through where this is the Pokemon clip here. Okay. So this one, I believe we do drag it. So let's middle, lower third. Okay. So I click and drag, click, hold it down and drag. You can do some things here. I don't know half of what any of those do. All I do is put it right next to where that clip starts. So now everything is aligned, and it will, again, as long as you have these two things highlighted, they need to be highlighted, everything kind of snaps into place. I've kind of, there's snapping and there's link selection. There is a difference to them, but I just know they have to be on. So now the text will start, boom, when that starts. If you want to do it for the whole thing, then we just kind of drag it. I mean, you can do it you can do it for as long as you want. It'll also show it to you with what it looks like with and without. I'm not sure why it does that, but anyway. So now this is where we're starting to get a little bit more layers. The text typically goes on top. And boom. So there you go. And I'll just show you again. I'm going to undo this one because I'm not going to have anything. So here we have to go to, there's a thing in here called inspector. So when you add some sort of component, and I think it can be done for the regular, I don't know. Only a few things I've used it for. Main thing is text, but there's the inspector mode up on the right corner. Make sure you have the text highlighted. Inspector, and boom. Now you're going to have all your options for the text. And what I do very basic stuff again. So there is a spot for 2 lines. You can utilize that if you want. A lot of things what I do is I just do the bottom one. So I just completely get rid of this and go back down to the bottom. Let's say we want to say, oh, it's I love Pokemon. Spell here. All right, so let's say we wanted to have that. All right, and then you can kind of change your fonts or whatever. Here you got 80 million different fonts. Regular, bold, italic, etc. There you go, beautiful. And then this is your font. This is kind of weird. I don't know, like you got to sort of click and drag it up and down to like change. I don't know why. I got to figure out a better way to do this. There's got to be a better way, but like I can change the number if I want, 120. But like if you want to go up and down, you can't just use the arrow keys on it. That flips through the different clips. Oh, apparently up and down. I just found this out now. Apparently up and down lets you go between each clips. I didn't even notice that. Okay, I'm just learning that, but let's say, okay, so there you go. Wonderful. What do we? All right, cool. And then you can move it wherever. You can change your color. And of course, again, there's a million things you can do. And position, you can change your X and Y axis, rotate it, stroke, drop shadow, background. Again, 80 million things to do on this for just text. And again, this is the free version. Keep that in mind. This is just the free version. Everything I'm doing today, you can do for free. I don't know. You might want to look up the system requirements. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of on a new laptop here. It may be a little beefier system requirements. I don't know. Just something to keep in mind. You might want to look at that. I haven't really paid much attention to it because obviously I wasn't too worried about it. You can click the inspector thing again if you want to make it go away, get your video back. But we'll just play this and there you go. I love Pokemon. I ought to leave that in just as a little Easter egg, but that's okay. Or put like a shout out to my live stream or something. I don't know. But anyway, if you want all that to go away, we're just going to make it go away for now. Control Z. Oh, maybe Control Z is not working. Okay. Well, it may actually be. It might be. Oh, there we go. Okay. All the little edits we were making with the font and stuff, it was going through all that, but we should get here in a second. Another check. There we go. Okay, now it's away. So now we're back to normal. And again, like with anything, be careful with your Control Z, because if you start getting crazy with your Control Z, you might be erasing edits that you don't want to erase. So, just keep little thing to keep in mind with any video editor, really. So inspector can go away. Inspector does show up with your videos. Again, you can do a million different things with your video and audio here. You can adjust your volume. Actually, I forgot. I didn't realize they had a volume. I probably could have used that on my update. I had music on my video that's coming out Thursday, and it was kind of loud. I couldn't realize how to lower it, and I probably should have dug into the inspector, but I didn't think to do that. So, oh well. But yeah, we can make that go away. We can make the effects go away, and we're right back into our normal mode we want to be in.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen a Pokemon vending machine.
Oh, here's some more music. Yeah. Get that straightened out. That works. We're at 27 minutes. I still feel like I can get this thing under 25. Not that it matters at this point, but on Windows 7, it would have made a difference. Whether I had a 27 or 25-minute video, doesn't matter now, but. And these things do compile at a pretty decent amount of space, so you need to have a little bit of hard drive space as well with this thing. If you're at least using all the formats I'm using, if the video files are a lot larger than they ever were on Windows Movie Maker, or ever could have been. So, like once in a while, a video will pop in on let's see if we can go back into like my update video. Let's see what my update video came in as. Yeah, so my update video, the one that's coming out Thursday, actually ended up being 16.9 gigabytes. Now, that being said, it's a very, very long video, but yeah, still 16.9 gigabytes. So if you're going to get heavily involved with this, those 128, 256 gigabyte PCs may not cut it. If you can get something with 1 terabyte, would be good. 512, you'd probably be okay, depending on how much you have in your backlog. If you don't have as much in your backlog like me, may not be even a big issue, but keep that in mind. There might be some system requirements, and you need a little bit of space to save these files, at least if you're doing it 1080p. I think I'm allowed to do 4K on this thing, but again, I'll show you the basic formatting of that in a moment. Why is it yelling at me? Okay.
This is where we came in.
That's where I came in. Cool. Okay, one of the few abandoned tenants, not a lot of them. Okay, so now we're just going to cut all 5 of these or whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. So, boom.
This is where we came in.
Yeah, definitely a little bit in how much it gets mad at me or not down.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of probably one of those malls that's just. I feel like this is kind of probably one of those malls that's just sort of in the middle. Not quite a mall like Woodfield, but also not a dead mall.
Just like what I
Like
said.
Stratford, Spring Hill, etc.
Yeah, you couldn't. I don't think you were. I think I tried to look, but you couldn't really see anything inside this wing here. This anchor. There probably wasn't much going on anyway, but was a Dillard's. Now I don't know. Someone in the comments or the chat could let me know the history if Dillard's is a thing still, or if it's just sort of clearance outlets. I know Dillard's was a big thing once upon a time. I've never been in one. I don't remember anyone being in any mall or department store around Chicagoland area. Kind of like the Boston one. I think it's the one that's in Wisconsin. Boston that's now completely gone. We never had those around Chicagoland area as well. So you had your Sears, you had your Macy's, or uh, whatever Macy's, Marshalls, or whatever it was before, J.C. Penney's. Some of those. Yeah, we didn't have a lot much beyond that really.
Uptown Janesville. I know there's definitely more malls in the general St. Louis area, but this is the closest one to our friend's house, so I wanted to document this one today. I'm sure there's probably bigger ones closer to St. Louis. We're definitely not a quick drive 2 hours from here. This is definitely like the outer suburbs of St. Louis.
Cut out a little bit of that. Hopefully not deal with the copyright.
Outer suburbs of St. Louis. Cool skylights. I do like that.
Yeah, in certain spots that are small, that music was loud. That's fine. We'll leave that. These mall videos are typically the ones I deal most with as far as like copyrighted music.
I do like that. Okay, this goes to Mark Cinema.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep it. I don't really want to cut anything out of that. You kind of have a classic looking elevator here. I did enjoy the look of that. I've discovered there's a lot of elevator enthusiasts on YouTube where they literally just film elevators. They just film escalators. And a lot of them seem to find my channel for whatever reason, but I'm glad that they're here. But the enthusiasts with the elevators and the escalators, they seem to find my channel. They're also kind of sort of connected to the whole Roblox mall community, and that's kind of an important part of that as well. They're involved a lot with that, so it's a whole vibe, and definitely that people that's kind of what they film are elevators and escalators. I was never a big fan of escalators as a kid. That wasn't my favorite thing. But hey, for these younger folks, hey, if that's their just wasn't really my thing. But let's see, did I? Okay.
This goes to Mark Cinema. Might ride the elevator back up.
Oh, we spotted a stitch.
Ride the elevator back up. Stitch item spotted. Oh, there's those cool lamps.
Yeah, those lamps that I'm seeing around at all different sort of gift shops and stuff around Lake Geneva or other towns in Wisconsin. That's not cheap, but I still kind of want to get one of those things eventually. Okay, I'm kind of all over the place with this one as well. I gotta learn to sort of just center my camera for a few seconds when I start filming and then go. It's just one of my little bad habits. I gotta like, with this editing, I gotta learn just kind of sit the camera still, let it start recording, and then kind of move, and then I can kind of put that into the edit. But it would make my job a little easier for sure.
Sonic spotted over there. Getting kind of close to where that security lady was.
Yeah, she would not be there.
Wait for a sec.
Yeah, she would not. She would not be there. And spoiler alert.
I don't see her right now. Alright, well, we found our food court. That's good.
Yeah, this is where we're gonna start cutting out a lot of our video here.
Toys R Us. Discount edition here. And head back to the food court. Yeah. That'll be about it. Oh, what do you know? They have Charlie's.
You knew we were getting Charlie's. You had to know we were doing Charlie's. Yeah, we did Charlie's. All right. Again, let me kind of go into at least. See, now this thing kind of went away, so it's not. You notice now that this is unhighlighted, it's not really stopping right at the beginning of the end of the clip. Now we have that selected. Now, boom, lock. So, good thing to have. Let's do imaging. So, I haven't done a lot yet with voiceovers and all this sort of thing, or B-roll yet. I haven't messed around with B-roll. We may have to do that for another live stream, but let me at least show you the image thing because I've done that. I'm going to just move this down a little bit. How about we take that screenshot that we did? So I just click on hold. I got it. I got the screenshot folder open here. Let's just click, drag, put that towards the top here. It says copy, and I think that's all we have to do. Just let it go. Oh, maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay. I didn't drag it down enough. So here we drag it down. Boop. Now we see another thing on our timeline. Put that right at the beginning. Let it go. Now, again, this is pretty much video editing 101. But for those of you who were like me who didn't do a lot of stuff and were just doing very basic stuff, Movie Maker, now we kind of do B-roll, and this is kind of B-roll except it's just a photo, but
that'll be about it. Oh, what do you know? They have Charlie's. It's been a little
yeah,
while.
that's what it is. You want to put a picture on there. You can put another video clip. I haven't really done that too much with that yet, but you can drag it. You can make it longer. How long do you want this? That's just completely up to you.
Oh, what do you know? They have Charlie's. It's been a little while since I've had Charlie's. I had Panda Express, Snow Factory.
So for some reason you want to do that? That's how you do that. Very basic, drag and drop. And we're just going to do Control Z again, get rid of that. Boom. Move this up, and I will show you a little bit with music as well in a little bit, because that's kind of also what I was doing a little bit in this update video that's coming out on Thursday.
Food court, but they have a Charlie, so ain't gonna complain about that. They have a pretzel place over there also. Alright, we will
That's good.
over there also. Alright, we will definitely be back here. Most likely the Charlie's. Yeah, they have like 4 places. I'm not even sure if that Snow Factory one's actually open right now.
Okay, so yeah, there's a few, not a ton, but I've definitely seen worse. I'm looking at you, Hawthorne. Although Hawthorne has now a new place. Hawthorne's interesting. I did a visit to Hawthorne recently, and um, it's interesting. Not as much has changed as I thought would have changed by 2025, but it's looking okay inside. It's interesting. That's a future video. I'll just stay tuned for that. But this one I kind of edit. You see, I kind of started filming when this little pillar was here, so yeah, I just want to get rid of that. I can also kind of wait until the sign's out of the way, wait till these folks are out of the way. Just to kind of clean up, make it a little bit nicer looking. Something that I just kind of, my personal preference sometimes with editing. Yeah, so it looks okay.
And this is the hallway back to the Sears. Yeah, this hallway in particular is kind of abandoned vibes. Not much going on down here.
Oh yeah, this mall was like a very healthy mall, but sometimes with these malls, you get into a certain spot, especially with Dead Acre, where it's like you suddenly get thrown to the liminal space, the dead mall vibe, um, and this hit it. There was like no one walking around here. There was a lot of stuff closed, maybe just for the holiday, maybe permanently, but you can see there's a lot of this something used to be on this end, but yeah, you can still kind of get your sort of creepy abandoned mall vibes in certain spots of this place. Like I said, it's not a wood field, um, but it's still not like apparently Uptown Janesville, which is dying and even more dying. I've been told that it's really, really, really dying at this point. So folks kind of want me to go back up there, drive up back up to Janesville, check that out again. And I'm gonna have to now because you got my interest. Got my interest. We'll see. Oh, geez, what the heck? Oh, we did a crazy zoom there. Okay, one moment.
It just got eerily quiet.
Yeah, it really you couldn't hear anything except like some of the music and stuff.
Not much going on down here. It just got eerily quiet.
I think we do go up this elevator at some point. Or do I do it now? No, maybe not. At some point we do though, I'm pretty sure. We are at 26 minutes and 48 seconds with the video, so even these little few seconds here and there kind of do cut it down a little bit. We'll definitely get a bit more cut out for sure when we get to our food vlog and the Macy's one as well. Yeah, this was an interesting place. I should check this one out too. Wish I had more time. Yeah, it was like this cool little sort of record store, toy store thing going on, gift shop, but it was on multiple floors. I don't know if they connected with the escalator or not, but it kind of gave me vibes like it may have been a two-floor Barnes and Noble at one point in time. I just had I just had a lot of Barnes and Noble vibe with this, and you kind of see it with all the media and stuff too. It just had vibes like I can almost put money on it that this used to be a Barnes and Noble two-floor at some point in time, and you could access it from the outside as well. But don't know anything about the history about this place, and didn't really have time to really dig too deep into it. Again, I never do too many deep dives of these malls anyway. Yeah, a little bit more if it's like Spring Hill or something like that, and I'm doing a lot of videos there, and I'll talk a little bit more about the history, but something like this, no, it's just kind of a walkthrough, you know. Not sure what's going on with that music. It's mostly instrumental, so maybe that won't affect me too much.
Do you know that Victoria has a secret?
She does?
And her secret is that she was made by a man.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you, Wayne, for letting me know that.
Alright, let's get Macy's done. I don't know, maybe they don't even have. Alright, well, let's get.
There we go. First time I kind of goofed on what I was trying to say. Redid it. I was trying to say that I didn't know if they like had the Toys R Us or something, so I don't know, but.
Alright, let's get Macy's done. I don't know, maybe they don't even have.
Yeah, I did a brain fart there, so as I do quite often. Surprised I haven't really had one at this point. That's pretty good for me. I had a ton of them on that update video that I did, so we're gonna cut a big old chunk of that out.
Alright, let's get Macy's done. I don't know, maybe they don't even have.
Maybe just restart the whole.
Alright, well, let's get Macy's.
Yeah, okay, so. All three of these need to go away. Goodbye. Now my goofiness goes away.
Alright, well, let's get Macy's.
And it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Isn't it cool how editing works? I can make myself actually seem.
There
we go. I goofed again. But with editing, I can make myself actually seem like I know what I'm talking about. And then I know how to talk.
Let's get Macy's done. I already see the sign for Toys R Us.
Yeah. Whatever the heck that was trying to say, I don't know, but no evidence ever happened.
Alright, well, let's get Macy's done. I already see the sign for Toys R Us, first floor, and I just see Toys R Us right over there.
Look at that. Look, I just know what the heck I'm doing. Isn't that beautiful? And yeah, Toys R Us is like right over the entrance, very convenient.
But I can't get any more convenient.
Yeah, I was just saying that, Wayne.
Take Toys R Us right over there. Well, now you can't get. Right over there. Well, now you can't.
Oh, I gotta make this one go away. There we go.
Right over there. Well, now you can't get any more convenient. Yeah, I would have to take an escalator down to the basement. Okay. pretty nice. Laid out a little different than I'm used to. Those are the ones that we've logged so far.
Yeah, they usually have these music. They have music blaring at these as well, and Macy's always like high volume.
Good, you know, it's all the same stuff. Does seem like they are staffed pretty well here. So that's always nice. Ooh, we got blue stuff. Oh gosh, a lot of blue stuff. Yeah, it's a pickup.
Yeah, I never had one of these do as good as my first one did. My Macy's one in Chicago, boy, that one went viral. I try to repeat it, but it's never. They do okay, and mall videos do okay. The Macy's do okay. This one will do all right as well, but not quite the 20-something thousand viral one that was my closest to ever having a viral video. Was that Toys R Us Macy's in Chicago? Wish I could repeat that, but especially now that I have AdSense. I didn't have AdSense when that thing took off, sadly, but
Yeah, it's a pickup.
I'm sure I'll get hit for copyright on this because again, they blast the music in most of them. Only one or two Macy's I've been in where they haven't really been crazy with the music, but it's usually blasting at very, very high volumes. But we're getting there, folks, and yeah, we're gonna not do obviously a second run through this for you guys. Probably gonna be one of those. Am I gonna make another 3-hour live stream? This is what I wanted. I wanted to get this done one night before I get kind of back into my week schedule with work and everything, and I really wanted to at least get the first edit on this done. So I would have been doing this anyway tonight, but it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying not to think too much about that. But
25% off.
this is a very boring process of editing videos. I'm mixed on that. Yeah, I do find this kind of tedious and annoying, but I also kind of enjoy doing it. I like cleaning things up. I like trying to get the timeline down a little bit and, make it look more professional. And I don't know, maybe it depends on my mood for the day, whether I'm like, this is exciting or this is not exciting. It could be tedious. I mean, and this was only a 27-minute video. Can you imagine when I like my update video? Sometimes they're like over an hour, and I gotta like edit it down or decide if I'm gonna split it between 2 parts. And even if it is 2 parts, I still gotta edit like over an hour of footage, and that's why it sometimes takes me like 2 weeks or something to. I've been editing this one that I'm releasing Thursday. I've been editing that for the past couple of weeks now. At this point, I started working at it like on the 24th of August, I think, is when I started filming that thing. Finally, just releasing it now because it was so much footage and there was so much to edit and clean up on it. I had to add music into it and edit the music on and off, which I'll kind of show that as well. I can do that as well without messing around too much with this. Even though, obviously, there's plenty of music already on this thing, more than I want.
25% off.
Okay, yeah, we already looked at that. Okay, I don't know why I was filming the floor there. Yeah, again, looking for things where I can kind of shorten the video a little bit. That's a perfectly good way to do that because I don't know why I decided to film the floor. That might have been an accident. And don't know why I'm filming that either, but we'll get to that. Oh, the kiosk was broke, so that was just my nerdiness there. But See, we can just select that one, shift backspace, take the whole chunk out. Yeah, it was kind of a short there with the gumball machine, but whatever. Ooh, and there was a huge focus issue going on there, so we're going to cut a little bit more off. Yeah, we're going to cut a little bit off of that as well. Yeah, let's clean. There we go. That should be good. Let's take out that chunk.
Gotta be some kind of a clearance section or something here.
Yeah, that'll work. Someone's return receipt. Is that a return receipt? I didn't even notice that before. June 3rd. Yeah, that's about a month ago. That's weird. I don't know what that was. I was going to check and make sure no one's personal info was on there, but someone returned it and they didn't take the receipt off there. Okay, but yeah, I don't really see anything interesting on there than it was returned about a month previous to that, but that's funny. Okay, I didn't even notice that, or I didn't even notice that when I did the video. Disney Christmas Advent calendar. That's interesting. Clearance. I mean, it was surprised I still had that thing sitting out there. All right, we made it through 10 minutes. We got technically 16 minutes to go. We're nearly said we're going to cut. We always cut a lot out of the food vlog, so I'm still pretty sure this is going to be. I'm not going to say it's going to be under 20 minutes, but you never know. I think that's really the next thing we do after this is we do the food vlog. So yeah, we're looking at a good 10-15 minutes roughly of just the food vlog, I almost bet. Yeah, let's show the sound thing for you guys real quick. The sound kind of goes usually on the bottom. So let's I hate to do this. Well, let's see. Do we still have? Let me see if I can find the song that I used for the personal video that's coming out. It should still be in my folder here somewhere. Yeah. So again, here we go. We got. I usually just do the stuff that it offers me for free, license free, ad free, everything that you can put it royalty free in within the YouTube studio, the creator studio. I supposedly got more of a selection of songs now that I'm in the partner program, etc. So I just drag this over, boop, and there you go. You can see it's added automatically right there. So now from here, couple things you can do. So, all right, so now it's playing it. Yeah, it's a little loud. Now, any sound in here it is still doing because they're both there. There, I'm talking about Trish Stratus. So we're still talking. And the song's playing. Okay, cool. So I don't need to kind of go too crazy with this, but let's say I don't want the song here. This is what I was added. This is the last sort of thing I was doing with the video that's coming out Thursday. I don't want that sound here. Now, there's probably a couple ways to do it. You can probably just mute it within the inspector, I'm sure. Again, click that sound. You got all sorts of things with the inspector here. But what I was basically doing was selecting the sound. Like, let's say I don't want the sound where I'm talking about Trish Stratus here. Select the sound. Do B to go into blade mode. And you can see I could select where I want to cut this. cut here, move this here, and again, select it, make sure this is selected. B for play mode, hit now. We've cut the sound into two different sections here. It's still there right now. Now, I'm still kind of learning about this, but what I've discovered is if I do shift delete again, everything goes away. Now that clip, everything, gone. Not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make the sound go away. So Control Z. This is where you use just the backspace. If I don't want the video and my voice to go away, I just click this, make sure this is selected. Oop, and then that was weird. Put that in there. Oh, okay. So you can double click that. Apparently you can get a whole bunch of, that's the first time I'm seeing that. Okay, just select once. Just hit backspace, not shift. Watch. Now, kind of like those clips before, nothing moves over. So now, watch this. And this is what you're going to see on that video that's going to come out Thursday.
Interesting. It says 2024. She's still around.
Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. Okay. It was just playing a clip or something. All right, so we're gonna start with this one. It's gonna have the music, and then you're gonna see the music turn off here.
Interesting. It says 2024.
There you go.
She's still wrestling. It's like a classics. I remember her back in the 90s.
And boom, there we go. Let's go even crazier. Now let's go back into the effects. Let's move this down a little bit. Now let's add the text. Boom. So now we can go back in here, go back into Inspector. And we'll just whatever. So now, watch this. So now it's going to cut out. You're going to see the text in the video. Audio is going to cut, and you'll see the text up there now. So watch this.
Interesting. It says 2024. She's still wrestling.
This is about as complicated as editing as I've done yet on this thing, to be completely honest with you.
I remember her back in the 90s.
The one thing I just haven't done yet is B-roll. I have not really messed around with B-roll, like 2 videos and trying to. It's the only thing I haven't really done yet on this. But let's get rid of this because I don't need the music. Although it would be helpful to cut out the background music of the copyright stuff. But so again, carefully using Control Z till everything goes away that we want it to go away. Bump. There you go. And we're back. We can get rid of this. And just like nothing happened. So there's a little bit with text editing, a little bit with sound. Again, a million more things you can do with this. Let's rock this. Let's finish this up, guys. Little keychain, which I think I have. I have some. I have the bigger Jeffrey, but I don't know if I ever got the keychain or not now. Can't remember. Yeah, we're gonna be cutting out a lot of that. Let's try and get rid of some of that music. Is just gonna. Again, yeah, that sound is kind of annoying, but that's kind of the way it works with the scrubbing here.
same amount of views as I did with my first Macy's visit to the Toys R Us in downtown Chicago on State Street.
I just mentioned that, Wayne.
Overall, in general, those videos do well. Mall videos do fairly decent.
Okay, I'm repeating myself, Wayne. I just talked about that. I think kind of the hype of this died out too. There is obviously the bigger Toys R Us now at Norwich, Harlem Urban Plaza, but this was such a cool hype to see this back at all, the branding, and it was so cool. And I think that led to a lot of the success of my early Macy's videos. But here I'm just repeating at this point. I think people are just kind of over it because it's not really an exciting thing, and people are realizing it's just a themed toy section inside a department store. It was cool for a little while, but this doesn't make you scream, "Oh my God, I'm going back into my childhood." It looks like a typical toy section in a Macy's, but decorated with Toys R Us stuff, with decorations and stuff around the walls and stuff. You know, it was cool for a while, but the hype is not there, and now everyone's kind of getting more excited about these department stores that are opening. And all right, I don't think I've missed any chats. I'm going to check here just to verify. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we still got our last one. So yeah, I don't think there is someone watching though, so I appreciate whoever you are watching. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think you're a Miss or Delicious Panda, but we are going to try to get this wrapped up soon enough.
When in Rome moment, I guess, or when you
Yeah, a little Adam warning there.
videos do
Adam the
make sense. Yeah. When in Rome moment, I guess, or when you're in St. Peter's, Missouri, and
Yeah.
the Macy's Toys R Us.
Yeah, I don't really plan to do too many more of these. I don't have any more besides this one of a Macy's. Beyond that, I don't kind of really plan to do too much. So I think we're sort of wrapping up. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, there's a little bit more, and then wow. Okay, now we're back in the mall, and then the food vlog will be okay. Then we start the food vlog. Okay. And we're about to go under 26 minutes with it, so doing good. And I'm going to cut out a lot of that food vlog, so.
Ooh, big Sonic.
We can cut. We didn't really show a lot of stuff here, so I think we're gonna try to cut down space a little. Yeah, not really. That whole didn't vibe with me, so let's just talk about Sonic here.
Ooh, big Sonic.
Yeah, that's better.
Nice.
Yeah, now we're under 26 minutes now with that, so that's good. I have a feeling we're probably going to get this around a 22, 23-minute video, maybe a little less. Like I said, if I can get this under 20 minutes, I'd be pretty darn impressed with myself. But I'm not going to promise that yet. And for anyone who's watching this later, obviously, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it or research it and figure it out for you. Again, I'm not delivering the file out to anybody. Again, I do kind of funny that the registration form is the only thing to give you an installation file. You don't actually register with the site at all. But again, I'm not messing around with it because they give you all this amazing stuff for free. So I'm just saying that the whole setup is kind of weird. It really, like, the installation file is not. I mean, maybe they have something in my computer, a token or somewhere that, oh yeah, you definitely registered it. I don't know. Yeah, there might be something in there, but I mostly don't understand why you need a registration form because especially when they don't market me anything with this. What is the point of the registration form? I'm glad they haven't bugged me or contacted me or even sent me a newsletter. That's cool. But then why? Because really, they're just giving me a file that's just there. I don't know. Not the worst thing in the world. Just a little weird with that. Other than that, though, like I said, you get quite a bit of awesome stuff for free for simply filling out a registration form.
Oh, even though I don't like the new design of the turtles over the past 10 years or so, that Donatello's pretty cute there.
I do like that Donatello. I was tempted to buy that.
Yeah.
I never did, but
He doesn't look that bad.
Donatello was pretty cute there. Of course, finishing up with some Minecraft. This is, I think, right about the time where the Minecraft movie was like super popular. I think it was out at that point. I think we may have watched it at my friend's house. I remember I did see it. I think yeah, I think we watched it. I don't know if they had gotten it through what means they had gotten it or whatever, but I think we did watch it on a TV at their house. It was just kind of on, and the kids were watching it.
A little Disney section here.
And it was okay. I mean, I've never been a big Minecraft fan, really, but. Okay, now we're just kind of circling around there. Okay. I think we can cut a little bit of that out. I usually do cut a decent amount of the Toys R Us stuff out, both because of just randomness like that, and then plus the music too. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, let's switch over to this guy here.
Oh, Stitch.
And I found a stick sharpener course.
Apparently, Stitch is preschool. It's a good time for me.
Yeah, you know. Sometimes I have a preschool mindset. I'll admit that.
Movie time, blind boxes. Okay, yeah, so they're getting merchandise for the new live action.
Yeah, with all the live action stuff, yeah. I haven't really gotten anything directly related to the live action yet. Okay. Well, let's transition from that. Okay, that works. And again, yeah, I have to go through this whole thing completely again. Like I said, I'm not going to show you the full rendering process with this, but I'll show you the basic steps of it. The first in this last tab here, how to do that. And then from there, you know, a few settings that I changed based again on the format of my video files and stuff like that. Obviously, your needs may vary. I don't know what file format you use, how you save things, how you upload things. You know, everyone's video needs are differently. I don't know. Maybe your videos might be in QuickTime format on the Apple thing. I again, I don't know. Just not something I'm an expert on. I just kind of the dummy me coming from Windows Movie Maker, you know, and try to make things work with my phone and let me upload in 1080p. That's all I care about. So.
Disney section here, Disney princesses.
Even with all this editing, I'm sure I'm going to get hit with something as far as music in this place. I almost always do with these Macy's where the music is blasting.
A lot of Disney princess stuff.
Obviously, one of the tricks is to talk during it.
Disney princess stuff.
You guys don't want me to hear me talking constantly either, so I try to balance it a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of good sales going on right now. I don't recall seeing any sales really in the previous Toys R Us Macy's that we've gone to. That we've gone to.
We'll just cut it there. Again, flipping the camera around a little too much there, but I tend to do that.
30% off.
Oops. Cut that one a little closer to my voice, so kind of watch where the waveform is. This was not something you can do with Movie Maker.
30% off. Very interesting. I wonder if that is kind of a sign for something, the future of Macy's Toys R Us. I don't know.
More random thoughts. More random thoughts and me not knowing what I'm talking about. I don't know what Journey Girls is. I don't know if that's kind of they're kind of trying to do their own version of American Girl or what, but something I got to look into a little bit. The girls are kind of past that. I mean, they still really enjoy their American Girl dolls as far as just having them in the sentimental value, but they don't really need to want to play with dolls anymore. It's just kind of weird.
I do kind of like this sort of open layout here.
Yeah, definitely different format. That one was kind of an odd layout, but not bad. Like I said, not the biggest one I've seen, not the smallest one I've seen. Definitely well stocked, better than a few of them that were. See more of the Journey Girl stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. It's not a brand I'm familiar with.
Definitely very different than any of the other ones we've seen so far. Still have to go to the standalone Macy's in Bloomingdale, Illinois.
Yeah, to-do list.
Just not a short drive from McHenry. I'm sure the Toys R Us is not going to look all that much different than these, but still worth checking out for sure. For sure. For sure.
15 minutes. All right. So we're officially, ignore the 01. I don't know why that's there. 15 minutes, 25 minutes in. Or 15 minutes. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm already starting to kind of lose my mind now. 15 minutes, 25 seconds in. 25 total. So about 10 minutes remaining of this video. And whoever that one person is, thank you. Maybe you're a bot. I don't know. Okay. I probably should show you something too here, other than just me doing this. So in the bottom here is a kind of important. It's called Project Settings. We're going to click on that. That is going to open up 80 million things that I don't know anything about. Master settings, Blackmagic Cloud, image scaling, color management, general options, which are still a million things, camera raw. Remember, this is all free stuff here. Capture and playback, subtitles, transcriptions, fusion, Fairlight, path mapping. Only thing I know about any of this is in master settings, and I don't know if it makes a difference, but once in a while I'll see this proxy media format thing at this ProRes. I don't know. My videos on my phone, the best general format and what I was using with Windows Movie Maker was MP4 with this H.264. The Samsungs have a different mode. I don't know if it's this or not, but they have a different mode that wouldn't play on Windows Movie Maker. And that was an issue. I noticed that with, I think when I first got this S23 or maybe the S10. No, I think it was the that 23, but I had to have H.264 on my phone as far as the encoder or whatever. So I just make sure before I compile that this says H.264. The rest of the stuff, none of this matters really for me. Maybe it will for you, but this in the videos I watched the kind of the beginner's guides or whatever. This was said something to watch for, but there's more in the finish tab, the last tab we got to go to. There's definitely some stuff you got to check there. That's even probably more important. But before I do the final render, I always just go into settings, make sure it says H.264. If you're on Android, if you're uploading on YouTube, MP4 and H.264 should be just fine. A lot of this stuff, there's definitely stuff that are default from your phone. Like I always record my videos in 1080p, so a lot of this stuff automatically shows. Timeline resolution, none of this ever changes, but I always make sure this is 1080p. It's all this is, a square. I mean, frame per second is 30 or 29.97 because I film at 1080p with 30 frames per second. All this stuff just automatically fills in and probably will be for you, but that might be something you want to kind of just look into. I could probably do 60p at this point, but or 4K or whatever, but my files are so big as it is already. It's like, I'm just sticking with what basically I used to do in Movie Maker as far as the resolution and the frame rate and all that other stuff. For now, just leaving it exactly the same, which is 1080p, 30 frames per second. Everything's good, and we'll be able to verify all that again in this final tab when we get there.
Like that, we can go back to the mall now.
Okay, we're done with Toys R Us stuff. Yay. Yeah, so we're a little less than 10 minutes for the food vlog, so not quite as long as I thought originally. So we are going to get under, we're definitely going to be under 25 minutes.
So far it's been fairly easy to film here.
Yeah.
Jesus, creepy hallway.
Yeah, we have your liminal back room. I didn't go back there. I was tempted though. I'm sure it was just like security offices. But a lot of good skylight, very bright. Again, still sort of the boring beige that most modern malls go to. They all feel like they're made by the same manufacturer or the same developer or whatever, you know? Like this looks, you could kind of think this was Southridge or one of the many other, or Mayfair or a few of the others, you know? Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's still a healthy mall, and I'm glad for those. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of it's pretty because of all the skylights. Like it looks nice. It looks pleasing to my eyes because of all the skylights. But if the skylights were not there, I might kind of consider this to be kind of a bland mall. You know, just saying. But again, this is how they typically are renovated. I don't know how old this mall is. I don't know how long it's been there, but this is kind of what they go to. But I do appreciate the skylight, so I'll give them that.
Yet another hot day down here in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, definitely no commenters out here today. Once we lost Miss and Delicious Panda.
Not really what I'm going to be doing nature and watching anything.
I don't even know what I was talking about there, but I'm going to be doing a full other round of this, believe it or not. Obviously, the second round goes a lot quicker because we're not cutting up all these different clips. Yeah, and we started out at 110. We're now up to 123 clips, but the mall videos always have a lot of clips, so this is pretty typical. I honestly was surprised that I went under 30 minutes on this video before editing, because usually they can get kind of lengthy as well. So the fact that I get this under 25 minutes, I'm pretty proud of myself. This is kind of cool. Now that I see these things all the time, and then I never research into them later, but another one of these sort of kind of trying to pretend to be Nintendo, but aren't really Nintendo. Again, I don't know the legality of it. It would be kind of cool to maybe get one of those. Obviously, they're kind of playing some version of Mario there. You find these in the mall kiosks a lot. Those little middle carts, And then I always forget to review those later and see if it's actually a legit thing, if it's worth it buying or not. Yeah, because that's not how Mario looks. Don't even know what's with 2. Is it Mario 2 or something? I don't even know what's going on there, but. Yeah, so food vlog's the next thing, and then that's gonna be it. We usually end these mall vlogs typically with the food vlog. Oh, some weird sort of vending machine kiosk. I remember that. I don't know what mall it was that had like all these like Japanese themed vending machine things. It was kind of cool. Something I filmed not too long ago. But yeah, the second round of this always goes quicker because I'm not cutting. I just basically playing it through, just making sure there's not,
There we go. It's an escalator that went down.
Just kind of trying again to. Oh, jeez.
Take its time to head over. There we go. It's an escalator that went down.
Just trying to make sure, because always that one little goof I missed or some kind of weird thing, like, yeah, I want to cut that out. But usually I don't cut a ton out of the second round, when I watch this.
It's time to head over to Charlie's.
All right, let's go to Charlie's. We do see our little Missouri sort of kind of I don't know. I don't know if it was a gift shop, but they have like Missouri themed puzzles and kind of some interesting stuff inside. Didn't buy it as tempted as I was. I've never had a Missouri t-shirt, I don't think. I need to get something with like I have St. Charles magnets, but that's really about it.
A little Missouri puzzle.
I have St. Charles magnets, but that's the most extent of my sort of St. Louis area gear. Oh, and the Cardinals, of course, because St. Louis. Feel bad for not them. St. Louis is kind of down in the dumps too. Not that the Cubs are doing all that great right now either, but they did win tonight though, so I'll give them that much. But they're probably not gonna. They're not beating the Brewers, I don't think. I guess we gotta once again be happy if they get in a wild card, so they can lose in the first game or two or whatever and call it a season. That's what they do every single year. Hey, the Bears lost, so there's that. So yeah, it's gonna be another typical Chicago season. We'll see how the mediocre Chicago Bulls do. So now we're gonna move pretty quickly here into the food vlog, which again we're gonna cut this out pretty good. I still gonna go about 22, 23 minutes is my thought on this, but we'll see. Maybe 24, but I think we can get this to at least under. I feel like we can at least get this under 24. Again, we'll see how boring the food vlog gets. There's some sort of weird little artifact noise. There, we're gonna get rid of that. I wasn't sure if my thumbnail was going to be that or if I was going to have with the food vlog, but I've done so many thumbnails with Charlie's cheesesteak. I think I just said, now let's just kind of stick with more of the mall look. We also got some fries. So 17.25. Okay, no, I've done a lot longer food vlogs for sure.
And this is what we're dealing with.
All right, we can cut a little bit of that out. Another Adam the Moo reference there.
And this is what we're dealing with. I don't even know if Adam says that anymore. We have our fries.
Not particularly. Adam says Adam says a lot of weird stuff, but I haven't heard him do that in a while.
Our fries.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of cuts through here, guys.
We have our fries. And the chicken cheesesteak, I know sometimes I get the turkey, but I really wanted the drink, so got a small combo, pretty good value.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know why. I just kind of I mostly wanted a drink, I think. So I'm like, well, let's get the fries so I can get the drink because it's just so hot and I felt like I was dehydrated. My wife was going through a lot more than that, but I felt like I was dehydrated the entire time we were down there.
Good value.
Just,
I don't actually have ketchup though.
Yeah, every time we're down, we go down a lot around July 4th, and it's just like I think that's around that's the worst time to go down to St. Louis. It's July 4th.
I don't actually have ketchup though.
It's probably really nice during the fall, I'd imagine. We have gone down in that area in the fall before. So I know we did like the Thanksgiving, Halloween shopping at downtown St. Charles, but. We're almost under 25.
Alright, this is definitely Memories by Wayne Tradition here. Charlie's cheesesteak. And off.
Plenty of music in the background. Boy, this is gonna be fun. I'm really curious. We're gonna at least get copied by one thing here. I wouldn't be surprised if many songs get hit. Yeah, see now, like when cleaning my hands or whatever, a lot of this stuff we kind of end up getting cut off. Again, trying to not make this overly long, trying to not make myself look like a slob. Just try to keep it quick and clean. Yeah, most food vlogs that you see on my channel were significantly longer before they make it to the cutting room floor here. There's a messy sandwich too.
Charlie's is actually still open over at Hawthorne today.
Yes, it is. And something else is open there now too.
Not much has changed there this year so far.
Yeah, a couple things.
That's why I haven't filmed anything there recently.
Oh, you will soon enough, sir.
I was actually over there not too long ago, but I didn't film anything. So yeah, nothing's really changed at all. I think there's a couple more stores in that new Outdoor 2.0 outdoor section.
Yes, you are
They
correct.
still really haven't built the other outdoor section yet.
No, they have not.
The inside of the mall still looks the same. They haven't done anything with that Dave and Buster's section yet.
That is correct.
And that wing is still the same. 2 restaurants and a food court.
Yeah, more than 2.
There yet, so
More than 2.
again, any kind of updates, I will let you guys know.
Well, you will definitely come back soon enough. You will visit there in did I go there in September? I went there I think I think it was technically September, like September 2nd or something like that. I went back there with the family. Spoiler alert, that video is not even off the phone yet. That's how fresh that is, but yeah, so this is definitely going to put us under 25. Still think it's possible we can cut another bit out, maybe. No, not. We're 25.03 right now.
Yeah, they are like at 3 or 4 things now that are actually open in that outdoor section. So
Yeah,
that's good. I guess.
I think that's about right.
I'm really interested in now.
Spoiler alert, I didn't really visit the outdoor portion. I'm mostly going with the family to do some indoor stuff, so didn't even walk over at the outdoor portion. We'll do that at some point again, but well, there's a look. There you go. That's a little. Oh, there you go. She snuck in my picture. I wonder if she's a fan. Okay, this will definitely put us under 25. There we go. Under 25 minutes. We're hitting about roughly almost 19 and a half minutes. In 3 hours with this live stream. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not really sure what I'm looking at there. No, that's kind of boring. And that's some boring stuff we can cut out. A little bit of spam. Something caught my eye. I'm not really sure what there. Well, now you guys know my secrets of how I edit my videos, so. Or at least till I can afford to hire an editor. I don't know if I'd ever do that, though. I'm so picky, you know? It's like, how do I ever be able to trust someone else to
Pretty nice model. Definitely has some
edit my videos? Not a lot, though. I mean, kind of. I mean, the skylight's sort of retro feel, I guess, to it, but. And I think we go back to the napkin there. Cut that out. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure now if we're going to get it under 24. But this is a good, you know, this is definitely my typical mall one around 20 minutes or so.
Green pepper. Not really green peppers.
We do not. Yeah, they gave me pepper. I should have forgot to tell them not to put peppers on there, but that was my bad. Okay, I think that's. Getting closer and closer. We're almost to the end here. once in a while. I always kind of forget to. I do a save project. It'll say edited up here if you haven't saved it recently, but I'm still pretty sure if you were to close the project, like right through here, and I'll show you that too where it's saved. I believe it auto saves everything, so it's very difficult to lose progress here. I'm pretty certain, as you probably would expect, for a modern program like this.
Guys, this is our only mall that we're going to be checking out while we're down here in St. Louis this year.
What do you mean, modern mall?
Next time we're down here, I'll try to cover another one. Guys, this is our only mall that we're going to be checking out.
Oh, I'm saying it's my only mall. Okay, well, that's, I don't know. Again, kind of unnecessary babbling that we can just cut this out. Yeah. Again, let's kind of shorten the food vlog up a little bit. Yeah, we didn't go to another mall, but we'll do it next time. Yeah, again, reviewing that, I'm like, yeah, I don't need that in there. Oh, and we might. Now we're down to 2409. Nice. All right. And there's really no reason for me to need to try to cut down as much. Back in Windows 7 Movie Maker, yeah, I needed to cut this down some, but now, obviously, you've seen the length of some of my videos. It's not necessary. We got a pickle drop. I guess I'll leave the pickle drop in. There's kind of a loud, weird noise there, so let's cut that. Yep. Cut that. There, what time? Okay, 2:39. All right. Oh, yeah, I still have to get to bed. I still have to switch some laundry around. Probably won't be doing much with the editing. I'll be editing this a little bit for the rest of the week. My goal will be to get this fully rendered, get the video file. But beyond that, probably won't be editing too much else this week. This is my main goal, is to, well, get the personal project done that we're releasing Thursday. That is set. We're all good there. And then I want to at least get this thing. So one more round of this week over the next few days. And if I get a full video file for that, that's fine. Because again, I'm not going crazy because I don't have a ton of video backlog, although I just did 2 videos today. So the backlog is growing a little bit. So we might be able to push that a little bit quicker with the uploads.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's hot St. Louis.
The St. Louis heat.
Cut that from here. Yeah, like I said, we cut a lot out of these food vlogs. Yeah, no one wants to see all this. I get it. And here we're adjusting our camera, so we're gonna be able to cut a little bit more off. Having some technical difficulties, I guess. Yeah. There we go. I think I had the fries behind the camera. The fries might have been holding up my camera. And as I ate the fries, it got a little lighter, and it might have been what I was kind of messing around with. I don't remember now. I don't remember if it was the cup. I either had the cup or the fries holding up my phone.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna finish these fries, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of fries. I didn't really want to take it home with me or anything to my friend's house.
Finish these fries, but that's okay. I don't really need them. It's just part of the combo. So they're good fries though. Impressive.
I think we're going to be able to cut a bit off of here too. Yeah, let's cut it a little bit more. Don't need all this. Don't need all this. Boom. There we go. 23:17. So roughly 23 minutes. Nice sweet spot. And this is the last clip of the food vlog. That's it, folks. All right, and then the little final walkthrough, and make sure to subscribe. Blah blah blah. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You've heard that a million times. I think we might ride the elevator here though, to go back up to the second floor where we started. So I think that's kind of our final thing. Huh?
Even work? That's the question. Of course, it is here in this dead wing.
Okay, now we're getting that music going there. Just cut that out too.
Here in this dead wing.
I always kind of go through these clips one more time, you know, just kind of make sure I didn't accidentally cut my voice out or something like that. Something goofy, because it's a lot easier to fix now through an undo than to try and do it later, and then I have to get the clip back in. So always good to kind of run through, make sure if you're finding little clips that you cut out are good.
Dead wing. On this side.
There. So again, I also cut that. So now we're just gonna review it, make sure I didn't goof on the cuts.
Here in this dead wing. On this side.
That works.
Yes.
Yeah, elevator did work.
The little button light up? Yes, it does. The other thing's got some retro vibes to it.
It was probably the most retro thing at the mall was the elevator, honestly.
Some retro vibes to it. Ooh, I just heard a beep. The other thing's got some retro vibes to it. Ooh, I just heard a beep. Creepy hand.
All right. Now, all you big elevator fans, I know you're watching it, you mall enthusiasts, and you love your elevators and escalators. What elevator is this? Can you tell? Just by a little clip, can you tell? I know there's somebody that's going to know instantly. That's been the most fascinating thing about my time on this platform, is discovering this community that is super enthusiastic about elevators and escalators. There's also a few groups of people, a little less, that are also enthusiastic about toilets. I don't question people's lifestyle or what they're into. To each their own has always been my thing. But hey, if you're into toilets, cool. I don't really care as long as it works and gets rid of my stuff. Like, I don't really care too much about us elevators as long as they work. Cut a little too close to my voice there.
It works. That's a good sign.
That's how much I like elevators. They work.
She was actually going to elevator. Would be
Number 2. 22:27. All right, we're wrapping into the final minute, guys. Wow, 3 hours. Yeah. If I wasn't live streaming this, I probably would have split this up between 2 nights, but whatever. It's done. Sort of.
Mid-Rivers Mall.
Still have to go through this all one more time, but this will go a lot quicker. This will only take me probably roughly less than 30 minutes to go through because I might make a couple edits, but for the most part, we just play this from start to finish. So, less than 30 minutes to probably review this one more time. But
I'm guessing there's a river somewhere around here.
I haven't found it yet.
It's pretty mid.
Yeah, that was just kind of a joke about everything being mid these days. That's kind of one of the kids' terms. I think the kids use mid, but I still have not found any mid rivers yet, so I don't know where this mall actually gets its name from. But it's kind of in the middle of the St. Charles suburbs. I don't know. I couldn't find any rivers. There's a few creeks nearby, but I was looking at Google Maps, and I don't see nothing.
Pretty mid. Yep. This is where we came in.
Yep, that was. So I hope I answered most of your questions, and maybe I convinced you to try this program, DaVinci Resolve, if you're, looking to kind of get into, being a creator, getting into video production. I know a lot of people just they do the basic upload the video from their phone and kind of put it out there as is. You could definitely tell those type of videos are out there. So a lot of times they're in vertical mode and definitely no editing involved with it. And then you got the more professional stuff. But I hope there's definitely two groups of people out here I think could benefit. Those that are kind of looking for much more like myself still, even though I have monetization and all that, and still not really willing to invest Adobe Premiere Pro money into my channel yet. And now that I discovered this, I don't think it's necessary. So for those beginners or those just kind of wanting to put basic edited videos out here, I think this is a great program for you. And I also think this is a great alternative if you don't want to spend money on Adobe Premiere Pro anymore. I've always been intimidated by programs like that as well. Like, how am I going to figure all this stuff out? And you don't really need to do. Again, 80 million things here, that you don't need to touch. If you want to, you can, but if you don't need to, I've showed you how to do basic video editing. So for the beginners, I think this is good. For those that want to get away from the subscription prices of Adobe or whatever they're charging you, this is out here too. So
this is where we came in. Where we came in.
Oh, we are gonna get under.
Has been documented.
I think we're gonna get under 23. It's gonna be very close. We're at 2302.
And here at Memories by Way. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out our more playlist. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for watching.
It's gonna be right there, man. It's gonna be very close. Again, I will probably edit a thing or two out of this. The final cut, the final version will probably be pretty darn close to. We'll probably get under 23 minutes, but right now we're sitting at 20:03:02. Beautiful, done. All right, real quick because we're going on 3 hours and 20 minutes here. This is absolutely insane. I'm actually kind of getting hungry. It's like it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm hungry, and I still have to get my dogs outside if they're not like completely passed out, which they probably are, but they'll wake up when they hear me. All right, so quick things again. Here we go. We checking that. Cool. Again, we're not going to totally do this because it's a whole thing, but we go here, and there's a couple things we need to check. So, well, again, there's a million different things that I don't know about here, but one of the key things, it always puts it to a default QuickTime format, which A264. This is correct. The codec, I don't want to do QuickTime. I mean, maybe that's I know that's connected to the Apple version of, that's probably what iMovie goes into is QuickTime. It always defaults to QuickTime, not figured out how to change that. So again, before I start rendering this thing, I switch this to MP4, but now this changes my codec. So now I have to change my codec to H.264. So before I do anything else, first thing I do, very, very important because I want an MP4, H.264, just like the videos on my phone. And everything I've been uploading since the Midwest Gaming Classic has been like this, and it's been fine. It defaults all the resolution and frame rate to what my photos were from my phone. So as you can see, 1080p, 30 frames per second, per how they were on my phone. Don't need to change any of that. Everything else is auto. I don't know. I mean, there's preset balance, rate control, quality. I don't know. There's advanced, there's subtitle settings, a million things on here. I don't know, honestly. So the last thing I got to do is go into location, which I will choose Memories by Wayne. It also saves some sound stuff into a different folder and everything. I'm not going to go into too much of that, but and then, yeah, so I just come to save it where I save all my other videos here in the Memories by Wayne folder. Save. So now Memories by Wayne videos, perfect. And then we're going to go back into here to my folder. And again, right now I'm just going to copy this over. So let me. And that'll be the name of the file. So then it will save it over. And this will probably, believe it or not, this thing is so much quicker. I mean, my laptop is quicker, but this program's so quick. Like, this thing will probably compile in like 3 or 4 minutes, where this would have taken like 20, 30 minutes in Windows Movie Maker on my old laptop. It's just absolutely insane. So this is set. There's like 4 things I got to check. This. The rest, nothing changes. And then we click Add to Render Queue. And then it puts it into here. I don't know what the point of the render queue is. That's if you want to like render more than one video at a time or something. I don't know. I don't totally understand the point of this. But you put Add to Render Queue. It puts it here, and then you click this button. That's the go button, render all. And then that's when it's going to start going through it'll show like a preview of the video, the percentage of what it is till it's complete. That's the point when my fans go crazy and it starts sounding like a jet plane, cooling my CPU down. But yeah, I don't totally understand why this has to go here, what the point yet is of that, but it's just the way it works. But otherwise, yeah, we're pretty much set to go. And I can show you real quick. So again, let's go File, Save Project, even though I think it does auto save it, close project. And now it's going to go back. Let's see. I don't know why there's a second version of this out here. All right, it's going to load it here. All right, so again, when you first open it, boom, you have your list, and here it is. This is what we worked on tonight. The last time I modified it, 2:55 in the morning. And let's say I was to delete the project. You just right-click, click delete, and then that one goes away. It also puts some sound files into, I think I can show you this without showing anything with my name or anything. Okay, yeah, we're fine here. Yeah, I don't know what the, so it saves audio clips in your home directory, videos, cache clips, audio, C, users, Wayne, videos, or whatever. Obviously, it'll be a little different for you, but and then whatever like folder you have your video in, it like has a little file. So after I delete it from DaVinci, I delete it from here too. They don't take up a lot of space, but these are just like the audio clips from your video. I don't know why it puts this here. I don't know what the point is, but it's there. It is a setting. You can change this location. It's in one of the main 80 million settings that are on this thing, but I don't know what it is. So just like when I'm ready to delete that old project, I delete this as well. So just to clear up a few, 12 megabytes of space or whatever. So just a piece left over. I don't know if it eventually auto deletes or something. I don't know, but I just make sure to delete it. And then, yeah, we just click. on this again. You can pull off stuff from the cloud or the network. I don't know too much about that, but these are all local saves. You can either double click or click open, either one, and boom, here it is. Notice it leaves right where we stopped, right there. So, yeah, and we can go back into here. And then a couple of things it did. It still left it in this format. It saved that. It saved the directory, but didn't save the title. So if I was to render it, I'd have to change that title again. But outside of that, it saved most of our stuff. So there you go. And I think we need to wrap this up so I can get myself to bed. But I hope you guys enjoyed this 3.5 hour live stream. Oh my gosh. I was really excited to do this. I knew there probably wouldn't be a lot of people on tonight, but I hope some people do find this video later. That's the main reason I'm doing it, to really get an idea about how I edit this thing, and you can decide for yourself. Like I said, one person told me that they knew the program existed, did not know they had a free version, and it's not the first time I heard someone mention online or whatever that they didn't aware that there was actually a free version of this program. Here we go. There's something. So DaVinci Resolve 20.2 build 13 by Black Magic Design. I believe the company is based out of Australia. So again, you can't beat it outside of the registration form, which again, no calls, no emails, no letters, no nothing from them, not even a newsletter. In theory, you have to fill it out to get the file. But that's all you just need the file. It's in a zip file. You run it, execute it. You have to do this every time you update, which is it's kind of annoying. You can't just do like a quick update with this thing. You have to. Something kind of got messed up with my taskbar with that after I got to repit it. So it's not just a quick update process. So something to keep in mind. Get this moved over here. There we go. Okay, it was like opening up like double copies there. It was really weird. Anyway, so you can't do just like a quick little update when it wants to update to a new version, like 20.1.1 to 20.2, like I did. You basically have to do a full download, and it basically does a full uninstall and a full reinstall. I kind of wish that was a little bit more seamless, because then I have to wait for the full. It's like a 2 gigabyte download or 3 gigabyte download at this point, I think, and then full uninstall, reinstall. It takes a good 10 minutes or so to get this thing fully complete. Where it'd be nice if it just kind of was a quick update in the background, restart the application, done. But that's not the way. If there's anything I could complain about, that would probably be about it. Let me see if I can find a download folder just to show you here. Yeah. So I don't really think there's anything too interesting here, but let's bring up the properties. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing. Yeah. So this update that I just did tonight, it was a 2.86 gigabyte file they had to download. And it's like I said, it's in a zip folder. And yeah, it's just it's a little odd. And then you literally uninstalls, it backs up everything, uninstalls, reinstall. So that definitely could be a little more efficient. And then now you've got like every version you get on here, you got to eventually remember to kind of delete these from your downloads, because then you're basically gathering 3 gigabyte files here for every update. So, delete the old updates, leave the last one, or like I do. But yeah, that's really about it. And so we're gonna wrap that up, I think, for the night. Thank you guys for joining. I think the only ones that were actually in the chat were Miss and Panda. I think, sure you guys are both long sleeping, but I do thank you for joining. Oh, and we do. Not sure when you came in, but it looks like Manuel Guarniero. He joins us once in a while from Sao Sao Paulo, Brazil. Always appreciate you when you join in on the chat. So he's one of my buddies, I believe I found from Space Hay. So got a kind of growing community at Space Hay. I'm over 200 friends on there now. So yep, I did find Manuel on Space Hay. So yeah, thank you for joining as well. I just saw your chat now, so appreciate it always for joining in and commenting. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave, like I said, any comments or anything. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to help you out as much as I can. Okay, so now we're wrapping up. We got like 3 people right now. Where were you guys like 3 hours ago? Well, rewatch it. If you want to watch an entire 3.5 hour live stream, feel free to go back to that. So I would not mind, and leave a comment, and I'll probably check it out in the morning. So, all right, thank you guys for joining. I hope this was informative for you guys. This is definitely not my normal. Yet, if you can see right back there, it says subscribe to Memories by Wayne. I think my youngest daughter wrote that, or possibly one of her friends. I'm not really sure, but because some of my kids' friends do follow my channel, but I just noticed that tonight someone wrote back there, subscribe to Memories by Wayne. So thumbs up. I think that was my daughter, although it doesn't sound like my dad. It doesn't look like my daughter's handwriting, so I don't know. I'm not really sure now who actually did that, but pretty cool. I just noticed that tonight. So yeah, this is kind of one thing I might do updates on this once in a while. I learn more things on the other tabs or whatever. I might, kind of do another update live stream. Probably not a 3.5 hour thing like this again, but otherwise, we're back to the gaming stuff. Probably back to the Super Nintendo next week, so I'm guessing, but it's kind of a special thing that I really wanted to do. So I hope someone out there did enjoy this. But yeah, have a good night, and well, I might as well say good morning now. So hope you have a good morning, y'all. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.